disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in every one of you. Disappointed in every one of you.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it, man.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
He's just killed a little fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
You're happy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're happy because you got nothing.
Lobito!
Got nothing.
I want to get out. I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA Boxing.
Alright, welcome everybody to another BDA Boxing Podcast, broadcasting to you live from the true north. This is your friend Mr. BDA, and alongside with me as always my co-host, the one, the only King, Bucho. King, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Fantastic. Good to have you on board. We got a special episode for everybody out there. Part 2 of the BDA Boxing report cards. Never really know quite how to call it. We'll just call it the report cards. Quite fortuitous because this is when people at school, particularly high school, start receiving their report cards. So it's not at the beginning of September, like some people said, like, oh, why don't you do it in September? Because it makes no sense. Dumbass. Anyway, I don't want to berate anybody, so I'm not going to. But the point is, I'm fired up today, Bucho. The point is, before we get down to the fun, let's get the business out of the way. The Bucho, you remember, guys, if you want to contribute to the show, you can do so by continuing to listen, hitting the thumbs up button, subscribing if you haven't done so already. Check out our main channel, BDA Live. BDA Live, ladies and gentlemen, we just dropped a film analysis in there. It's a Joshua Ruiz film analysis that we did with Gonzalo and Recognize the Matrix. The more the merrier. So go on and check that one out. Very good points made from everybody, or by everybody, I should say, in that film analysis. So feel free to go check it out. It's quite fun. And also remember, guys, if you have a couple of, cents, a couple of pennies lying around, you can always shekel them our way via PayPal, via our Patreon page, or right now during the show via the super chats. Every little bit helps. Bucho is in the final preparations for his Saudi Arabian excursion. It's going to be quite a show. Hopefully he doesn't get sexually assaulted like Lawrence of Arabia. But hey, listen. If you do, Bucho, it's a new experience. All right? So with that out of the way, let's talk a little boxing. Like I said, we do have... Oh, by the way, wait a minute. I want to thank everybody who's all the people that support us. How can I forget them? I want to thank our listeners, Michael Stott, everybody in the chat room, Blues Boxing, Jonathan Morrison, The Fight Scout, Saint Brit, Box, Pink Panther. Wait a minute, are there 2 box? Okay, there's only one. There's only one box. Nes Mendoza, John Doe, The Quags, Gonzalo, The Punisher, Mr. EGDGOD1, I suppose, who says Ryder was robbed. Well, as is in the chat room as well. Triple JJJ, Shepherd the Sun. Shout out to Shepherd. Many more to come, I'm sure. Thank you, gentlemen, for joining us. Also, don't forget, if you haven't joined already, join the BDA Discord. If you enjoy what goes on in the chat, which you should, it's a party. The party is even bigger on the BDA Discord. It's 24/7, live chatting, anything goes. And when I say anything, if you're underage, don't go in there. We don't want your parents writing us a letter like we had that one time a couple of months ago.
Oh, what's her name?
Concerned MILF. Well, that was her nickname, but she actually sent me her real name along with some pictures. Not bad, by the way. Not bad at all. But the point is, go ahead and join the Discord. Butcher, there was some BDA Discord drama this past week. There was somebody called Unrivaled a racist. And last night, I don't know if you guys caught it, but Unrivaled started a stream calling out a guy named Boogie Woogie, which people thought was G Boogie, but it wasn't G Boogie. It was another Boogie. And so I had to go to sleep, so I didn't see how it finished, how the whole saga concluded, but I doubt that the guy showed up to Unrivaled stream. Anyway, Bucho, we're going to, like I said, we're going to do that, finalize the boxing report cards. And it's quite, I would say, apropos that we finished, last time we did it, the first part, we ended on the super middleweights. We looked at, what's his name? David Benavides. And so now we're going to pick up with Callum Smith, who just fought this past Saturday and whom a lot of people thought did not deserve that win. But before we do that, we're going to wait for a couple more people to show up. That way it's going to be more entertaining. Did you send Jimmy an invite, by the way? You always send it, right?
I don't have. I cannot send links yet.
Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so I'll.
Yeah.
Okay, let me get. Oh, wait a minute. What? It's 2 alerts here.
Huh? There's 2 alerts.
There's 2 alerts. All right. Shout out to Michael Stott, who just donated via the super chat, and he says, "Praise to the BDA family. I am thankful for you all." Oh yeah. By the way, isn't it? Well, thank you. By the way, Michael. Thank you. Thanks a lot for your contribution. Really appreciate it. I really appreciate the compliments as well. And praise be right back to you. Isn't it Thanksgiving right now, Bucho, in the US?
Oh yeah, there it is.
Hey, who's in our Discord group? Who's your superior, Mr. Humble?
Is that Jim Mr. Humble?
Yeah, there's a photo of Anthony Joshua. I don't know who that is.
Can't see him. Maybe he blocked me.
That's what Bucho. I'm gonna keep you on mute until you finish your apples or whatever it is. Because it's disgusting.
I'm eating apples.
All right, listen. Send Jimmy. I'm gonna send you the link.
Yeah, I got the link. I can get the link. I just need you.
I gave it. I sent it.
Yeah.
And so get that over to send
Jimmy!
a special communique to Jimmy and to Stu. And then we'll try to get Reverse Lee and Recognize the Matrix as well, because they were the ones that were doing it with us. So we got to get those guys to finish it. Meanwhile, we're gonna kill a little time here. This Saturday, a lot of people think, "Oh, come on, we had the Wilder fight this Saturday. Now in 2 weeks we're gonna have the Joshua Ruiz rematch. So what's in between? What's in between, you ask? Let me tell you what's in between. As you can see here, we got the ESPN schedule. Oscar Valdez versus Andres Gutierrez. Gutierrez is a solid fighter, and what I like about Valdez is that he always brings it. Now, we also have Cole Frampton on the undercard, which I believe means that they're trying to set up the winner of that fight with the winner of the main event, and he's taking on Tyler McCreary. Now, as you can see here, McCreary is the type of guy that you got to watch out for if you're a security guard in the neighborhood and you see this guy walking around with a bag of Skittles. You might think that he's up to something, but he's really not. He's a professional boxer. So shame on you. But he's undefeated. I got to tell you, I've never seen him fight. I will be doing my research prior to the fight. But he's undefeated for whatever that's worth. And that's the guy that Cole Frampton is going to be fighting. Carlos Adames versus Patrick Teixeira. Is that how you say Teixeira? In the other fight of the undercard, WBO Junior Middleweight Eliminator. Now, Teixeira can be a little bit tough. he's Brazilian. And Carlos Adames. Who is Carlos Adames again, by the way? Let me just check that out. Oh, yeah, that dude. Via. He is from the Dominican Republic. Oye, chico, como tú estás diciendo cosas. Patrick Cesare, Patrick Day. Oh, wait a minute. Is he the one that... is he the one that offed Patrick Day? Can anybody confirm that in the chat room? Yeah, who knows how he's going to perform after... When you have a tragedy like that, some fighters can get a little gun shy, so... I mean, it's interesting. It's you don't want to say to a guy that killed somebody in the ring, hey, let your hands go, continue being a brutal guy in there, but that's what he's supposed to do. It's his job. It was a sad situation, but what do you want? It's boxing for you. These guys know the risks. They shouldn't be holding back. Also, from Birmingham on ESPN Plus, Lerone Richards versus Lennox Clarkey. Oh, and that's the other thing. Zolani Tete is going to be taking the very tough John Riel Casimero from the Philippines. Now, this is interesting. Tete is being imported over to ESPN at the same time that Inoue has been imported over recently to ESPN Top Rank. So that means, very interesting, they know that if they want to keep Inoue and they want to keep the hype train rolling, they got to match him up accordingly. And Tete is, at the worst, the best third fighter in the bantamweight division. So very interesting that they would bring him over. They're already trying to provide a stable of nourishment for Inoue's record. That is very, very smart from Top Rank. Nas Mendoza says, nah, Tete will sleep, Mr. BDA. Yeah, we'll see. You never know. The Punisher says, BDA, it gets easier to kill after the first one. Oh, tell me about it. Listen, I don't like to talk about it too much, but you guys know that I was in Vietnam. And I think things can get a bit rough in there. It's not... you leave a part of your humanity over there, for sure. For sure. If I talk about it too much, I can even start hearing the sounds of that time that I spent there. 2 years, by the way. 2 years. Seemed like it was more.
Gonna be all right, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot. Shoot, Nicky.
All right, anyway. I had to shake my head there for a second.
Like them politicians in Washington trying to fight this war with one hand tied around their balls.
That's right. Oh, wait a minute. Is that going on in my head, or are you playing that, Bujo?
I'm not playing anything.
Okay. Okay, come on, man. You want us to... We're going to get demonetized and shut down one of these days. All right, but let's continue. You know what? This is a good little chance to continue reading some comments from the chat room. Steven Schneider says, Conwell killed that day. Boxes. Leonard Clark got a mention on the BDA show. Wow. Hey, listen, you're a boxer. You get your chance here at the BDA Boxing Debate Arena. BDA Boxing Debate? No, the Boxing Debate Arena. L Dog says, who is BDA's pound for pound best fighter? I say Lomachenko. Didn't we do a pound for pound episode not that long ago? I don't think I gave my pound for pound list. And I don't think I'm going to.
Never.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever given it.
You never even give us predictions.
No, whoa. I do give predictions. What's the matter with you?
Rarely. I think people in the chat will agree with me.
I think people in the chat will give it to you in the ass. All right. Box says, Triple JJJ says he's ranked number 20 in the UK. I think they're talking about the aforementioned Lennox Clark. He's only got the first name, Lennox. Oh, by the way, Butcher, did you see that Lennox Lewis was doing the rounds? He was making the rounds on the TV stations and on the websites, giving interviews on the eve of Deontay Wilder, Luis Ortiz.
Yeah, he was. Yeah,
he was holding court in front of all the reporters and all those YouTube people, and yeah, it seems like he gets a big boost to his ego. Like, yeah, and then he said something interesting. He said, "I give advice to fighters when they want it, and I've talked with Deontay Wilder, but never had a phone conversation with Joshua." He said, if he wants some advice, he has to call me. I'm paraphrasing here, but he sounded a little bit like Shigur from No Country for Old Men. Remember when he calls that guy, he says, you have to come see me. You have to come see me. He's like, that's what it
Yeah,
sounds to me. It's like,
yeah.
it sounds like a sociopath narcissist saying, "Hey, listen, he wants to be a good fighter. He's gonna come see me." Lennox, keep wearing your little alfalfa hat and your tight Christmas sweaters, and do your awful commentary. All right, just stop trying to harass these fighters. He's got a hard on for Joshua, and didn't he have some sort of beef with what's his name, Tyson Fury as well a couple of years ago?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's had a bunch of feuds with a bunch of UK fighters. So.
I don't know if that was instigated by Tyson Fury because he's not exactly Mr. Type A personality himself, but still, I mean, it's interesting watching Lennox. And I don't like the guy as a commentator. I'm sorry, man. He interrupts Goosen way too much, or sometimes Goosen says something and Lennox feels like he has to one up him, or shoot him down a couple of notches. I mean, listen, when you get to Goosen's age and you can still have that pompadour haircut, you can say whatever you want. You earned that privilege, all right? But Lennox, Mr. Olympic gold medalist, the greatest Canadian fighter ever, he feels that because of that, he gets to say whatever he wants. Well, let me tell you something, Lennox. I know you're listening. You need to smarten up a little bit, all right? Stop being a wise guy. All right, let's continue reading a couple more comments from the chat room. Nes Mendoza says, Mr. BDA, good to hear you have no colds. Did you drink lemon with tea? I didn't have a cold the other day. That was a misinterpretation, or not misinterpretation, fake news from Revolucion. And I'm going to have a word with him. Trust me. The BDA Board of Directors has been alerted about the fake news that he spews. I was not sick. I was tired. That's why I wasn't on the show. But anyway, nobody wants to hear Mr. BDA's ills. Triple JJJ says, no country for men, period. All right. Gonzalez says, Lennox is transracial, though. Yeah, he is transracial. He's Jamaican, Canadian, British, and I think a little Jewish, too. Jason Bohr says, Ness, I'm tired of your shift. Whoa. Pink Panther says, Rock Newman, the first transracial man. Menes Mendoza says, Mr. Bourne never had a shift. Claudizion says, White battered Parker. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta rewatch that fight. The Punisher says that was BD after sniffing up a line. Come on. Pugalakan, shout out to Pugalakan, says Lennox had his fair share of questionable fights, illegal tactics, holding and hitting to score a KO. He certainly did, Pugalakan. He certainly did. I don't go for those dirty tactics. I really don't. Disgusting. The Quack says Triple JJJ moved to Orange County. We get about 40 square miles of safe space. Oh, come on. they're gonna insult Orange County. So
how dare go ahead.
Yeah, how dirty. Also, there's the zone. There's boxing on the zone as well. Now, this is an interesting fight, guys. I didn't even know this was taking place until I caught wind of it today when I was looking through the schedule from the zone, Monte Carlo, Monaco.
Oh,
nice little tight venue where you might remember Golovkin fighting a couple of times. All right,
that's in Alabama.
Was that?
That's in Alabama, right?
Oh, come on, Pucho. What are you doing?
There you go.
Are you gonna keep playing that shit?
Fuck yeah, man.
Didn't Mayweather come out? Yeah, Mayweather came out with that, right? When he fought Haddon?
He was making a statement, yeah.
He was making a statement.
That's another matter, Charlie.
That makes no sense. Listen, the point is, I wanted to talk about Alexander Besputin is going to be fighting that Saturday, or this Saturday, via the zone. This is going to be interesting. I don't know if this comes at the... actually, it's not going to come at the same main event. Different timeline, not timeless, different time zones. So this is going to be probably at 5 p.m. Eastern time here. Besputin versus Butaev. Bucho, this is a very interesting fight. People are always looking for the next big thing in boxing. Besputin, watch this guy. He fights just like Vasily Lomachenko. Now, I don't want to call him the next Lomachenko because I hate doing that, comparing fighters to each other. But at this point, you can't help but compare Besputin with Lomachenko. He's the closest to Lomachenko in style and who can actually pull it off at a high level. He's 28 years old. Let me put up his record here. 28 years old via Russia. Mother Russia. He's 14-0, and Bucho, this guy, 13-0, I'm sorry, with 9 KOs. The only difference between him and Lomachenko right now is obviously the opposition. Lomachenko has a much better resume, and also Lomachenko can cut the ring off better. He's a better hunter than Besputin is at this point. But Besputin has hand speed. He's got some solid snap on his shots. He likes, that's the other thing, he likes a little body punching. But when he fought Juan Carlos Abreu, who made Kavaliuskas, another undefeated Eastern European, look like crap. I mean, Kavaliuskas deserved the win, but it was Abreu is a very awkward fighter, and Besputin beat him in impressive fashion. And it was, he was very flashy performance. So then he fought this Argentinian guy named Alfred Rodolfo Blanco, and he had a little harder time with him. He still won by wide margins, but these Argentinian fighters, you never know. They can either be completely awful or completely awkward, and they just throw you off your rocker. So that's what happened a little bit with Putin, and he's going to be fighting this guy Radaz. No, how do you fuck? We need precise to tell us how you spell these names. Radzab Butaev, also from Russia, also undefeated, more of a standard boxer puncher, but nevertheless, Bucho, this is quite a juicy matchup.
I don't know much about them, but if you say so, man.
That's right, I do say so.
Point where, remember when Pacquiao was at his peak, and every time there was another Filipino boxer, he was called the next Pacquiao.
Yeah, there was a guy named Bernabe Concepcion. I think it was Bernabe Concepcion. It was a Filipino dude. He did look a lot facially like Pacquiao. I mean, I know all Filipinos kind of look alike, but you get what I'm saying. And he had those big ass calves, those Asian calves, and all right, Bucho, come on, man, you're gonna get us in trouble here. What are you doing? But the point is that he was also another explosive fighter, and he had a couple of good wins himself. Not bad. And then he took on Juan Manuel Lopez, and it was a war. 2-round war. Both guys ended up trading knockdowns. But anyway, he never lived up to the hype. So you're right. Every time there's a Filipino with big calves and a little power, the next Pacquiao.
Same shit. It's happening again. Now you have a Russian guy, East European guy.
No, but
this.
But seriously, Bucho, have a chance right now to watch a couple of his highlights, and you tell me, because again, it's going to be hard to know exactly how good he is until he fight. The Abreu fight was pretty telling in my eyes. I mean, this guy he showed you speed, he showed you stamina, he showed you focus, that he can stay focused and box in a consistent manner for 12. No, I think it was a 10-rounder. It's not easy to do. Look, when you have the talent that these guys have, that hand speed, hand-eye coordination, foot speed, it's very easy to lose sight of the fight and lose focus. Case in point, Zab Judah, and one of the most talented fighters I ever saw. And when I say talented, I'm talking physical talent. I'm talking hand speed. I'm talking power, reflexes. He had a solid amateur career himself. And you could see when he was fighting guys that were outmatched, but who had solid defense and didn't give him a lot of openings, he just sort of lost focus because they couldn't catch him. So he was like, all right, and I can't catch them, so I'm just going to play around. But Besputin, he showed you in this one against a guy like Abreu that he could stay composed and stay focused and consistent. So I like what I've seen so far. And he also did get caught a little bit. But listen, this welterweight division, Bucho, full of killers. Okay? It is...
Kilas.
What?
Kilas. That's what they say.
Kilas?
Kilas.
What does that
I
mean?
have sorry, not a chance.
I can't hear you, breaking up a little bit. That's what they say. Where do they say that, Kilas?
Mike.
Yeah, the problem is when I talk over him, maybe I should shut my mouth.
No, I was saying these other channels, they always say Kilas. There's a lot of Kilas in here.
Oh, Kilas.
Kilas.
Oh, but all right. You know what? Even when I said killers, I sort of caught myself and I said killers. What am I in the Joe Rogan podcast here? But
Exactly.
You're right.
Oh yeah, man. It was a monster.
Killers.
That's also
Let's call
a term they use.
Let's say that it's a highly competitive division. I mean, look at this. You got Lipinets, another Russian. Can we get Hillary Clinton to do something about all these Russians subverting our culture or North American culture? Come on, because it's the Russians that are doing that, not any other ethnic group. Also, you got what's with these names? Kudratilo Abudakakro. That sounds like a spell. That's something like a witch would say. Abudakavadov, Budubuskabudus, Abracadabra. Come on. Then you got Kavaliuskas from Lithuania. All right, not that bad. You got Ugas. Okay, so you got the communist connection over here. Russia, Lithuania, Uzbekistan, Cuba. I said Cuba. Danny Garcia, who might or might not be fighting Manny Pacquiao. The PBC, they always announce their fights 1 month before the actual fight. Sean Porter, Keith Thurman, Manny Pacquiao, Terrence Crawford, Errol Spence. Who, by the way, wasn't Errol Spence arrested earlier this week? What was that all
the
about?
picture with he has like a red eye.
Why does he have a red eye? Was he crying?
Which is fucked up.
Can't
no,
be the
one
first
red
time.
eye. One red eye.
Oh, because of the accident.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought this was. I was gonna say. I thought he was
Illuminati
crying.
shit.
Oh, come on. But hold on a second. Shows. Okay, let's go to the sun.uk, that bastion of journalism. Battered and bruised, Errol Spence Jr. shows off horror of facial injuries, scars, and bloodied eye in mugshot after cheating death in a car crash. I mean, that's first of all, that's a very long title. Very long title. I think they could have cut it a little bit. Very melodramatic as well.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah, that's when you have a red eye like that. Isn't that a sign of a hematoma or something?
You're talking to the wrong person here.
Yeah, maybe I am. By the way, those nostrils of his, they rival Leonard Ellerby's nostrils. Look at those. Bad
We're
boys.
gonna get another phone call, man. Don't say that.
What's this about? Mourinho spoke to Pochettino's son about dad's axing, but not to Poch Senior. Who the fuck's Pochettino? Pochettino.
It's
Is that
a
a
football
cheese?
coach, man. Soccer coach.
Oh, okay. Sounds like a cheese or something. Anyway, back to Errol Spence here. Yeah, look at that. Man, those scars are never going to go away. My goodness. Well, he's not going to be, at least with those scars, nobody's going to be hitting on him if he goes to jail. Spence was not wearing a seatbelt and was thrown out of his vehicle during the smash, which showed the superstar. You know what? I don't want to get into this drama. I hope he. I mean, Butch, on the one hand, I'm a little torn about this. If he was driving drunk and he had that accident, he definitely deserves some sort of repercussion. On the other hand, I am a selfish little prick, and I want to see Errol Spence continue fighting. He's one of the most entertaining fighters in the world. Always makes for entertaining fights and goes for the kill. So, what do you think about this situation?
Well, we can just hope for the best, right? We want to see him back.
Butch was reading a statement.
Yeah, I mean, I sound like a retard. I want him to come back, but then again, listen, if he doesn't perform, then the excuse is already there, right?
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I was remembering we're gonna be doing a show best of 2020. I mean 2019, just like we did last year in December. We're gonna be airing that, and I remember, I remember when Adonis Stevenson got sent into a coma after he fought Gvozdyk, and we were discussing about whether did he deserve forgiveness. I mean, because some people in the hangout were saying that good, fuck him, if he dies, he dies. And I was thinking, come on, he paid his debt to society, he went to jail, and some people were saying, well, what he did cannot be forgiven. When you compare what he did to what Errol Spence did, I suppose you can call it luck that Errol Spence didn't kill anybody or he didn't hurt anybody, but nevertheless, he did do something bad. So, I mean, I don't know. Listen, we gotta let the court decide whether he was even drunk or not, and we'll see what happens. Wow. What?
Yeah. Maybe he wasn't drunk. I mean, just look at the video. Right?
I mean, what? At the worst, it was reckless driving, man. Because you don't drive that fast. Anyway, listen, I don't want to get into this. Let's read a couple of comments from the chat room. Jason Bourne says he's definitely concussed. Either that or he was drunk when they took the picture. El Dog says, I'm pretty sure Besputin trains and spars with Lomachenko frequently, hence the similarities. Wait a minute, isn't there a Russian-Ukraine rivalry right now because of what's going on over there? Little skirmishes in the borders. Anyway, Pochettino is done, says Azzy, stick a fork in him. I don't even know who Pochettino is. And the Quag says he was unconscious for 2 hours, they said. That's a brain bleed. He's lucky that's all he got. Yeah. And the Box says, Quags, you got a source? Oh, Box is going to fact check him, just like CNN. Pugalakan says, El Dog, don't let them fight and we'll see. I can't tell the future, but Tank already docked Loma. That's what we know. Nes Mendoza says, Mr. BDA likes Big Nose Ellerby. No, I don't. I mean, I don't dislike the guy, but St. Brit says it's a shame that there wasn't at least one broken bone. Oh, come on. See, I tell you, these people in the chat room are a bunch of animals. The Quag says, Box, I was an EMT for 2 years. No kidding, Quags. No kidding. Did you fill up a bunch of old ladies when they were in a coma? Anyway, Jonathan Morrison says, that's what I would have done. Jonathan Morrison says, lock him up. Okay, come on. Lock him up. He just says lock him up based off what? Anyway, Shepherd the Sun says,
He's gonna
reading.
get out, man. You know how it works over there.
Yeah. Lock him up. El Dog says, the one thing that makes me rethink what I said is that Pedraza landed 117 punches on Davis in 7 rounds compared to 111 on Lomachenko. Those are actually comparable numbers, but I never actually saw. If you want to talk about landed punches, you can land 111 to 117 punches, but the 111 punches that were landed on Lomachenko weren't even that hard. Because Pedraza was doing a very smart thing against Lomachenko, which was to play his own game of pity-patting him to try to set up something big and try to get him off rhythm. So some of the things, I never really saw Lomachenko's head get snapped back against Pedraza. Meanwhile, I did see, what's his name, Tank Davis getting snapped back. But then again, he did stop Pedraza, something that Lomachenko couldn't do. Mr. BDA says Nes Mendoza, have good resources, making a joke, but it's true. Shout out to Official Scorecard Boxing, who says Sputin trade with Loma in Oxnard, and looks like Edgy's Kilmas fighters are getting along well. Ah, well, that's good. Good to hear. Rainbow Coalition. Just like the BDA arena here, the Boxing Debate Arena. All walks of life, and people get together. We have some fun. Pugalacan says, El Dog, either you accept it or you don't. Bias won't help. What the hell are they talking about? Jonathan Mercer says, was he really out for 2 hours? I don't know. That sounds to me. But anyway, listen, as we get off the Errol Spence train, I want to read a couple of quotes here from the good old Bible. Where was the... And whenever you stand praying, if you have anything against anyone, forgive him, that your Father in heaven may also forgive you your trespasses. That's what you got to do, man. You got to forgive. In Adonis Stevens' case, you got to forgive the guy. Whether he has repented or not, that's not up to you to decide. That's up to God. But he did pay his, in the realm of humans, he has paid his debt. He went to jail. Now he went through whatever he went through, whatever happened there. And he's going to have to face that now that he's got a little time off. He's got to face his past. And also his alleged adulterous ways, which sound like a bunch of poppycock to me, but hey, that's what people say around the bush here. Talking about the Canadian bush. Now listen, I want to talk real quick about Besputin and Bucho. So yeah, we'll see what happens with Besputin. We'll see what happens with Besputin. I think he's a good fighter. He's taking on a guy who's undefeated, but who's a bit of a... Compared to him, he's not as flashy. But then again, we've seen flashiness get snuffed out before. I'm pretty excited about this one. Pretty excited. I don't know about you. And then, of course, like I said, the Valdez fight. 126. And by the way, Bucho, something we didn't talk about. What's his name? Leo Santa Cruz. Because I didn't watch that fight. That sparring fight. Let's call it what it was. Doug Fisher made a very, very good point on his mailbag this Monday. He said, I didn't catch the fight. He says, I didn't want to watch another Leo Santa Cruz sparring session. And it's true. I mean, this dude, he goes up again. He only fights about 2 times a year now. And his last 2 fights have been, again, subpar opposition. I mean, guys that we know on paper he's going to beat. And you're thinking, all right, you fought Carl Frampton, you fought Abner Maris. Mm-hmm. Now all of a sudden you're fighting these 2 guys. Well, he did move up in weight, which probably means he's never going to fight Gary Russell Jr., who only fights once a year. And he fights even worse opposition than what Leo Santa Cruz had. So this 126-pound division, there's a lot of great fights to be made. It seems to me like the only guy that's willing to get those big fights is Josh Warrington. Everybody else is content with fighting subpar opposition and getting paid for it. And like we said, that's why we have the rating system that we're going to be working on today, finishing rather, the boxing scorecards. We give a pass for fighters that are doing just enough or a lot in boxing. But then again, a lot sometimes isn't enough. You got to go the extra mile to be considered special. And that's where we award the honor roll to people, certain fighters. We only handed out a couple on the last episode. And then, of course, you got the dreaded fail which we did hand out to certain fighters. Terence Crawford, Bucho, I'm just going to recap a little bit. Terence Crawford received a fail from the panelists, which comprised of Reverse Lee, Recognize the Matrix 2, and Unrivaled, and Gonzalo as well, and myself and yourself as well. And I didn't want to give the guy a fail. That's the one where if it would have been up to me and myself alone, I would have given him a pass. Because you're saying it's a fail compared to his talent and his skill. But because we expect him to be fighting guys like Porter and all that. But the opposition he fought wasn't completely dreadful. Or am I wrong here? What do you think?
I think we've been doing a pretty good job so far, no?
Absolutely. But what did you think about Crawford, though? Because I'm pretty sure you got to disagree with some of the.
I'm trying to avoid the question here.
Oh, okay, come on. All right, well, forget it then. Forget it. If you don't want to answer, I don't know why you wouldn't want to answer it, but.
I don't get shit from people in the chat.
Well, everybody gets shit from people in the chat. That's what this show is all about.
Oh, listen, I agree. I mean, listen, to me, it was a fail.
Oh, yeah, you was a fail. Okay.
Yeah. See, the Punisher says in the chat, Bud has done nothing for a while, which is true. He hasn't. And I still don't understand. Some people are saying that, well, Spence is avoiding him. Or... See, the Punisher says in the chat. Oh, I hear echo.
That's Gonzalo.
So, anyways, let Gonzalo join.
Gonzalo, are you there? Gonzalo?
I thought you said you researched all this.
All right.
Wait a minute. I don't know if I got an invite, but all of a sudden it came on here.
Yeah, you did. I said it.
Yeah, what's going on, guys?
Well, we're just recapping a little bit of the first part that we did of the boxing scorecards, and I don't know, for some reason Bucho doesn't want to comment on the past ratings that we gave, which remember were fail, pass, or honor roll. And but I felt like Crawford, we should have given him a pass. That's what I felt.
Me too. I felt the same way. I didn't give my opinion on that one. Somehow they skipped me.
I don't think that happened on purpose, but I mean, do you want to recap a little bit? What do you think?
Well, the thing, I kind of remain silent because look, the thing with him is like the other side of the street thing where the two sides don't want to come together and create the big fights where PVC controls the majority of the welterweights. I mean, it's kind of like a stalemate. So what can you do? The guy doesn't want to go outside Top Rank to do anything, or he can't. I don't know. So that's what kind of makes it complicated.
Yeah, that's the thing. But then again, the argument was from Recognize and all those other guys was that that's not an excuse. That it's not if a guy really wants a fight, he should pressure his promoter, and that can get done, which is true. I mean, there is a precedent to a certain degree with guys like Deverchenko going over to fight in other promotional banners. But then again, is that really because they forced Al Heyman to do it, or because Al Heyman smelled an opportunity to, hey, listen, go get those guys, get that win, and come back with a win. Now, speaking of that, I wanted to talk. All right, Gonzalo, you're gonna have to mute your mic, man. Yeah, mute your mic.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. He's sleeping back or something. I wanted to talk a little bit about, real quick, Dennis Hogan. Dennis Hogan is going to be taking on Jermall Charlo. First of all, I didn't even know Jermall. Yeah, I didn't even know that Dennis Hogan is Irish and Australian. I thought he was just Irish. He certainly does look Irish. Look at him. But he did. Listen, I was rewatching Bucho, that Jaime Munguia fight. Jaime Munguia, also known as Goro in these parts, because he does kind of look like him a little bit. But I was watching that fight, and it was a little bit more competitive upon rewatching it than I initially remembered it. I don't think it was a robbery. I thought Hogan was moving too much and not punching enough, although he did catch Munguia with a couple of shots. Now, the interesting thing is that according to BoxRec, Munguia is 6 feet tall. Okay. All right. We're going to get to the bottom of this, people, because I have a little... You guys know, if you've listened to the show before, you know I got a gripe with BoxRec and the statistics that they put forth. According to oh, geez, all right. According to BoxRec, Jaime Munguia is 6 feet tall. Okay. Dennis Hogan, whom he beat in this year, is listed as 5'8". Now, he didn't look all that smaller or shorter compared to Munguia, but okay. So now he's going to be taking on Jermall Charlo, who is also listed as 6 feet tall. Now, when he fought Brandon Adams, he of Contender fame, Adams looked way shorter. But according to BoxRec, Adams is 5'9", taller than Dennis Hogan. So why am I bringing all this up? Well, number one is because I don't know what to think about these BoxRec statistics. I don't know who's who, who's what, who's caught, who's dead, who's not. I don't know who's lying. But it seems to me, Bucho, the second reason why I'm bringing this up is because Hogan, some people are already criticizing this fight and saying, oh, it's Charlo fighting another bomb, another overmatched, smaller fighter. And I'm thinking, well, hold on a second. Hogan made Munguia look bad. It was a very close fight. Very close fight. He's got very slick, yes, I said slick, foot movement.
God.
No, but he's got great foot movement, Hogan. He never allows you to get set, or rarely does it. And he's a sharp counter puncher too. He's not a power puncher. He only has 7 knockouts out of 20-something wins. But you can tell he puts a little more pop on his shots than a Paulo Malignaggi type fighter, okay? But he's way too much of a mover. And if you're fighting a guy like Munguia in his home country, Mexico, and the WBOs, well, actually, no, forget the WBO. But if you're fighting a guy like him in Mexico, it's pretty certain that if it's a close fight, it's going to go to the guy that's coming forward and who's also the same ethnicity and nationality of the country you're fighting in. Now he's fighting Jermall Charlo in Brooklyn, PBC, and people are saying it's going to be the same thing. And then on the other hand, I suspect Jermall Charlo is bigger, Pucho, than what they're telling us.
6'2"?
I don't know, because he first of all, he does look very strong in there, even when he was at 154. And I don't know if you remember, but in his best win, which was against Julian Williams over at 154, it was a 5th round stoppage, I believe. Could be wrong. He was hurting Williams with some, every single shot. Well, maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but he dropped him with a jab, and then he knocked him out bad with a right uppercut. So I don't know. And now he looked very tall compared to Brandon Adams, who supposedly is 5'9". I don't know. Maybe Adams was fighting in a little bit more in a crouch-like fashion, while Hogan is more of a stand-up boxer. But people are already saying, Bucha, that this fight is not going to go well for Hogan because he's smaller and Charlo has the better artillery and he's the much bigger fighter. Have you seen the Hogan Munguia fight? And can you?
Yeah. I guess Munguia could have lost that fight, man.
Mm-hmm.
He was moving around and he just could. He can't cut the ring, to be honest. Man, Munguia is very limited, in my opinion. He still has a lot of work to do. I also read somewhere that Charles gonna knock him. He said, "I'm gonna knock him out with one punch."
Oh, like really?
That. Yeah. So I'm like, okay. Well, we'll see. I think he's gonna go 12 rounds.
Gonzalo, what did you think of the Munguia Hogan fight?
I thought Hogan outboxed him.
Oh, comprehensively?
Yeah. Clearly, he clearly beat him.
So you're saying robbery then?
Yeah.
Wow.
He beat him at least by 2 rounds. 2 rounds.
Jeez. All right. Well, there you go. I guess I'm the minority here. I thought it was a close.
But it's not the first time this happens with Munguia. Remember that when he fought that Japanese guy? I forgot his name. Man, he was
but that
struggling.
but the Hogan fight was more like he has more of a. He can make a better argument that he won that fight.
Oh yeah, of course.
Than the Japanese, because in the Japanese fight, it was a very sloppy fight. A lot of holding and all that. And by the way, that's the other thing.
Yeah, but I think that you've been seeing like the Munguia's deficiencies.
Oh, okay, yeah.
He's been exposed. Exposed. Yeah, I'm gonna use that word. Exposed, man. He's
okay,
too young yet.
Let me just get back to the size thing, because I'm putting a picture here, as you can see, of Jermall Charlo when he fought. How do I you can't full screen this shit anymore. I'm gonna start using Bing because anyway, you can see it, man.
Regarding that size thing, can I say BDA real fast? That
Yeah, go ahead.
so Hogan fought Munguia at 154, right? Now he's moving up to 160. So Hogan's gonna fight in a bigger weight also, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But then technically, Jamal is also he came from 154 at some point, right? But the question is who's bigger? Maybe I guess Charlo's bigger, naturally bigger.
You know what? I think because I'm putting a picture here of Hogan, but that the angle is different here. It's not a side angle; it's more of a downward point of view angle. But you can see that, yeah, it's true. Hogan is a short. Yeah, now I'm a little less excited about this fight because first of all, I think Munguia might be 5'11 and a half or something. I think they're exaggerating. I do think that Charlo is a solid 6 foot tall guy because I mean, look at him. Well, take away the hair. I'm gonna put my thumb over the screen here. Yeah, he's definitely about 6 feet tall compared to Brandon Adams. Or maybe, actually, you know what? Maybe he's 5'11 and a half. I don't know. The point is, it does make sense. It does make sense that Hogan might be shorter. And if he's going to be moving away, if you're the shorter guy and you want to box the taller guy, you better be incredibly fast and incredibly sharp. Kind of like when Floyd Mayweather fought Oscar De La Hoya. Otherwise, if you're moving away, you're going to be out of range. And guys, say what you want about Jermall Charlo. Say that he hasn't fought anybody or that he's not compared to what's his name, Golovkin and all these other guys. He's not that great, but he's a pretty. First of all, I think he's an underrated puncher. It's just that he can't set up the shots as well as Golovkin and Canelo can. Okay, but he is a very dangerous puncher. He's explosive, sharp counter puncher. He just lacks the same little tricks that these other top 5 middleweights do that make them the cream of the crop. But if he can continue to improve. And that's why this Hogan fight is so important because, you know, I hate to say it, and I wanted to ask you guys this as I was thinking about this fight, but he needs to do something impressive, but at the same time, he's fighting a guy who, if you try to just go in there and knock him out, you could look bad or run into something yourself, even though Hogan is not a big puncher, but you guys get what I'm saying. Is this a type of fight?
Well, it's not against Korobov already, right?
Exactly, yeah.
Korobov.
Because that's the thing. Hogan is a mover. He doesn't have the exact same style as Korobov, who's more of a hands down, and he's a southpaw too. Different style, but fundamentally it's the same game plan of moving. And Hogan is a mover more than Korobov. But if he does get stopped, it's probably in an exchange, or if he decides to fight uncharacteristically and tries to push forward against Charlo, because I do think Charlo looks a lot better, or does a lot better when guys go to him. When guys jump on him, he can be more of a counterpunch. So my question is this. I'll start with Bucho. Bucho, you usually hold fighters to a higher standard. Yes. And you want to see these guys open up a little bit more, take more risks. Because if you want to have a fan base and you want to get those big paydays, you got to produce exciting results. In this fight, Charlo is, like I said, boxer puncher. Should he fight a little bit more uncharacteristic? Yes. Yeah, and just throw caution a little bit more out the window?
Yeah. Yeah, and catch Hogan coming in. Hogan, I mean, he was moving in that Munguia fight, but he was also exchanging, right?
Right.
It's in those moments that the quicker, possibly stronger Charlo has to take advantage and really hurt this guy because he might not get a lot of chances. By the way, the phone lines, you can open them right now.
Yeah, we're going to open them? All right.
Yes.
All right, so what were you saying? So you're saying he should fight?
Oh, yeah, be aggressive, of course. Yeah, he's going to have to. He's going to have to, I think.
I'm a little... Gonzalo, what do you think?
Just on punching power and size, physicality alone, he should be able to beat Hogan, especially if Hogan's coming up and this is his first fight at 160.
That's the other thing. Some people are saying, well, he's a smaller guy, Hogan. But he already showed you what he can do against a bigger guy in Jaime Munguia. So... the people that want to take away credit from Charlo right away for this fight, I think you're being a little bit too harsh. Or am I wrong here? What do you guys think?
For the level of opposition?
Yeah. No, for this fight, fight particularly. Yeah, okay, there you go.
It's a good fight because he's kind of like in the same boat John Ryder is. He probably deserved to be champion So he's getting a second opportunity, and he showed to be cagey. So throw him in there against another champion, and this will kind of tell us where Munguia is comparable to the Charlos. I know that was Munguia 150, maybe a little dehydrated because that's the way he chooses. That's in the division he chooses to fight when he should actually be fighting in 160. Because Munguia is also a big guy. His dad was a heavyweight in Mexico.
Whoa.
You know, he comes from a big bone family.
Mm-hmm. He comes from good stock.
Yeah, from good stock.
But okay, but that's the thing though. Hold on a second. I'm looking for my. All right, sorry about that. I was looking for some documents here. That's the thing about Munguia is we already. Some people are giving him crap for looking bad against. All right. By the way, the phone lines are open, guys. So if you want to call in, we already have a phone call. Let me just say something real quick about the Munguia fight. I thought it was a close fight. I will have to rewatch it a third time just to make sure that I got everything on track here, because I know there's some people that call it a robbery. Hogan certainly himself called it a robbery. So we're going to talk about that next. But before we do that, let's go to the phone lines. 484, you're on the air. 484.
Yo, what's going on, boys? It's Jackson.
Oh, Jackson.
What's going on, guys?
Well, we're good, and we're waiting for you to tell us what you want to talk about.
Well, I don't want to spoil the show, but I would like to get maybe maybe we could get a ranking where we think Wilder. I don't think we got to Wilder's report card last time. I'd like to maybe foreshadow what his report card is going to look like.
Go ahead.
Are you saying what I think?
Yeah, I thought you were going to give us a little bit of a foreshadowing. That's how I interpreted your statement. I don't know about anybody else.
Well, it's going to depend on what you think of Luis Ortiz. If you think he is the boogeyman, which I don't think any of us besides that guy Jimmy Neutron thinks is the boogeyman, then you'd rank him pretty high. I'm not sure which fights of his were this in 2019, but we were going 2 years back, right?
Yeah, depending on, because we had to go 2 years back because some guys didn't really fight all that much this year, or so we're trying to get a good scope, but not too wide a berth. Otherwise, it's going to be too much. It's going to be too many fights. So, but yeah, that's about 2 years, a year and a half.
So he has Fury. So he has Fury and Ortiz twice. I'm guessing.
Well, listen, look. He fought 2018. He fought Ortiz the first time. It was a bit of an listen. Not everybody was picking Wilder in that one, even though Ortiz was old. A lot of people felt that he might get caught in there and get knocked out. And then that same year, he fought Tyson Fury. So that's a pretty good resume. This year, a little more iffy, but I guess you can already see where I'm going with this. But remember, it's not just me making the decision. It's going to be the whole panel that we're going to have on. So these guys can be pretty harsh. They're not as gentle as I am. So
yeah,
it's a little preview for you.
Yeah, this is a tough one. And at BDA, I would say, I mean, you have to also rank that Brazil win, which I think Wilder honestly gets a pass because Fury, he technically got a draw with Fury, even though I think most of us thought he lost. And he has the 2 wins over Ortiz, which that's a pass-ish. It's not a great win. It's a solid win. So I think he gets around a pass, but he's definitely not honor roll. I mean, you can't give the guy honor roll. It's not possible.
Well, I'll tell you this, man. Staying on that same train of thought, like I said, I'm a little bit more forgiving. And even when I don't want to be, I have to be because I am a Christian. And the only way you can forgive people is by continuing to do so and do so and do so. Now, Wilder, I was talking about this with Bucho behind the scenes. And I asked him, I mean, think about it. Other than the fact that he says some stupid crap, which most boxers do say, by the way, it's just that he takes it to a whole other level. I was watching a video of Wilder after the fight, and he was taking pictures with fans. He was taking the time to do that. he went over to Ortiz backstage and they were talking. So he's not a bad dude. You know, he's not the type of guy that trash talks a lot and puts down his opponents. And Doug Fisher made a good point on his mailbag. He said, you know, I think one of the big reasons why people dislike him is because he knocks people out and he's boisterous. But then the other thing is, that's one reason why people dislike him. But the main one, and this is the unfortunate one, is that the reason why most people don't like Wilder is because of his fans. What do you think, Jackson?
I agree. I agree. I think that's one of the major turnoffs with Wilder. I've heard a couple interviews with him, and he seems like a really down-to-earth guy. Like, he doesn't do that, oh, I want a body in the ring and all that stuff. When you hear him off, like, when he's not trying to, like do his, like, Ali impersonation and come up with rhymes and stuff, he sounds like a really genuine guy. And I think if he would portray that a little more, I think people would really like him. And he would have a lot more fans, but his fans are horrible. Comparing him to, like, he's fought one top 10 opponent. How are you going to compare him to Muhammad Ali? Like, I'm actually a fan of Wilder, but I just think he freezes up the division, and it's no fair because I'd like to see how he'd do against Usyk and AJ and Ruiz. So that's where I stand pretty much, and I just like to see him fight some guys.
I agree, man. I mean, okay, we're just playing this sound effects. But listen, I agree with you. He doesn't seem like the most abrasive personality. Again, he can be abrasive, but it's mostly his fans who come in here. And I mean, I remember when after the Tyson Fury fight, some dudes came over and they said, "LOL, draw, LOL, deal with it." And I'm thinking, why do I have to deal with it? I don't give a fuck. I mean, it seemed like they were projecting about their frustration that Wilder looked completely unhinged in that fight and unskilled. But I've said it before, Wilder should be a bigger name. And he's starting to be now because, listen, if you can knock people out consistently like he does, eventually people are going to pay attention to you, especially if you're a heavyweight, right?
Yep.
Now, Jackson, are you watching the screen?
I agree with that 100%. Go on.
Are you watching the screen?
Yeah, I can see the screen.
Okay. The only thing I didn't like, and I'm putting it up here, why did Deontay Wilder came out dressed like that guy that people thought was Obama? Remember that? There was a picture that came out a couple of, I think last year or 2 years ago, and people thought that he was Obama at an Illuminati ball, but it wasn't really Obama. It was just a guy that looked like him with the mask on. And
yeah, no, he's
that was Wilder came out like that.
He needs to stop doing that shit.
It just seems
BDA,
very.
Let me ask you a question. BDA, hold on. What, do you think Wilder's chin got suddenly better? Because I saw Ortiz landing some strong overhand lefts and like some big punches in the beginning of that fight, and it didn't even phase Wilder. How did the guy's chin get better? Do you think his chin got better because he put on more weight?
I'm going to let somebody else answer that question because I've been babbling on for too long. Gonzalo or Bucho, any of you want to take that question?
Well, it's not every punch that you get hit with is the same. If he got rocked and put on unsteady legs before, he just got caught with a good punch. He was a little thicker at 219. So, he's faced this guy before to where Ortiz punches hard, but he's not fast. So there's no explosiveness. You can deal with the punches because you see them coming, although they're heavy-handed shots. You see them coming. You get kind of prepared to, take them when they do get there. Nothing's going to surprise you. So, yeah, he took some big shots. He doesn't have a bad chin.
If you look, the same shots that hurt him in the last fight, he landed those same shots again, shots that you don't see coming. And I was just surprised. I just was surprised, especially the body shots. I think you talked about in the last show how he took those. And I don't know. He just seemed a lot more sturdier that fight. But
yeah, you don't have to actually see them
That's all I want
coming
to say.
head on. You could from your peripheral. I think if you see them coming from your peripheral, you could prepare to impact and brace for the blow. So he's fought him before, he knows what's coming basically.
So you're saying because he saw it coming split second, he was able to take the shot?
Yeah, just tighten up your body. Clench your muscles, or contract your muscles. Just kind of tighten up a little bit. Prepare for the blow, and just be ready to do your thing. He
Mm-hmm.
was quite comfortable in there. He wasn't looking to box or tease. I'm not saying that he was going to win if he decided to box, because he can box better. But I'm starting to reevaluate a little bit how I judge the way he conducts himself in the ring. He was just looking to land that right hand, and
Yeah.
he kind of lulled Ortiz into believing he was doing a good job with his boxing skills and him winning rounds. Ortiz thought he was doing real good, and he was, but he kind of just fell into a lackadaisical mode. I
Mm-hmm.
think that's just my opinion.
Well, listen. First of all, thank you, Jackson, for calling in. He hung up, but thank you, Jackson, for calling in. Very good, salient points for discussion as well. By the way, you mentioned that Gonzalo, that Wilder was making him lead or was setting him up. That's what I thought in the first 3 rounds. But then by the sixth round, when he lost that fifth consecutive round, I said, "Wait a minute, is this really?" And now it came out apparently that Wilder said after the fight that he was having eye trouble, and that's why he wasn't being very active. Now, the way that people are trying to spin this, or the Wilder fans are spinning and saying, it doesn't matter if he gets outboxed, he's always going to catch somebody with the shot, which isn't true because he couldn't put Steve Earn out in the first fight, and he didn't certainly put Fury out in their in the first fight. Talk about what you want about long count, whatever. Fury got up, and he should have gotten the decision. Again, hey, listen, you want to think because 2 knockdowns make the difference? Those 2 knockdowns were enough to seal him the fight? You're being biased, and I don't like that. But the point is, it's not like he can drop you, but it's not gonna take everybody out, and that's a problem when he faces a guy like Fury. If he takes a guy like Ruiz, Dylan White, and those type of guys, I think he can hurt him. But again, that's the other thing. Is Stu and Recognize we're making the point that those guys can certainly get taken out, but they have that type of grit where they're willing to walk through that. And maybe Wilder not knowing how to react to that, because we already saw him, he didn't know how to react against Fury. He didn't make any adjustments. His power bailed him out essentially because those 2 knockdowns were apparently enough to surprise the judges or impress them. But if he can catch you, or if the other guy gets up and he gets into a war and he starts getting tired, like we've never really seen that. He showed good boxing relatively good boxing skills against Steve Earn in the first fight, keeping and turning. But that was a 6 feet tall or 6'1" Steve Earn. White is 6'4", I think. 6'3", 3.5. Tyson Fury is a bit taller than him. So is Tyson Fury. Then you got the upcoming heavyweights like Dubois and that African dude, the Nigerian one. I mean, it's looking like a fight where if size is all equal, he might not get that chance to stop guys. And by the way, let's not forget.
I agree. Yeah.
Let's not forget that the Gerald Washington fight stoppage was a little bit iffy. The ref panicked a little bit in there. By the way, guys, the phone lines are open, so if you want to call in, tell us. Bucho, check your messages, please, if you can, because I know if
remember BDA.
Yeah.
When I mentioned to you, and this is how it kind of turned out. When you have like a few seconds remaining in the clock, he usually likes to go for the punch that can get you out of there. He did this right here too, where when the clapper went off, this is when he knocked out Ortiz. What does that tell you? If he's choosing to go for the kill in the last few seconds, that he's expecting to land his shot to where he's calculating it, so in case he gets a counter shot, just in case he does get hurt, he can survive because he's not too confident that or he doesn't want to receive return fire. Basically, if he goes in for the kill, that's what I think. That's why he chooses to go in the last seconds.
Yeah, it makes sense. It makes sense. Hold on a second. Yeah, it makes sense because he, like you said, he does wait for the clapper, so then there might be something there. By the way, I don't want to talk too much about Wilder, but something interesting happened also this past Saturday. Magic Man says, BD Boxing, did you guys talk about Cancio versus Alvarado too? Revolucion, I think he was one of the few guys who spoke about that. He said he was heartbroken that Cancio lost. I was certainly very surprised because, for those of you that don't know, Andrew Cancio, one of the top 130 pounders in the world, he stopped Machado twice, the Puerto Rican who trained under Freddie Roach and who had looked very good in his last couple of fights, and Cancio just ran through him. I was very impressed with Cancio, and I was looking forward to a fight between him and Jojo Diaz, a rematch, or Cancio versus Burchell, which I was expecting to be a war. Now, in retrospect, Alvarado, not as big a puncher, at least on paper, but he just came in, beat Cancio at his own game from the get-go, threw more shots, was sharper. You know, guys, did you see that fight, or am I just to get a recap?
Yes.
Gonzalo, those type of fighters like Alvarado, they're very dangerous if you're a slugger too, because if you're not sharp or if you know not in shape, he just throws shots where they're not the fastest shots, but it's he you know what I mean? It's like it seems like Alvarado's just throwing shots at 80%, 75% power, and that allows him to just keep going all night, 70, 80 punches around. That's pretty impressive, isn't it?
Definitely. Yeah, he was the taller, longer man, and I believe Cancio had beat him 4 years ago. He had stopped him in the 10th round. The guy from Managua, Nicaragua, and El Gemelo, so which is twin. So I think he has like a twin brother. But anyways, yeah, this guy, he's a young guy that definitely improved in this 4 year time span. Yeah, it was a good fight. Cancio didn't sell it, didn't give up his title. You know, he was there to try to hurt the other guy, but you know, he was getting hurt himself pretty bad.
It reminded me a little bit of Pacquiao Barrera 1, not as one-sided and certainly not as, you know, Alvarado, not as good as Pacquiao back then. I'm saying in the sense that you had a guy who's a good puncher, he's a favorite going into the fight, and he faces a guy who just won't stop throwing and who was walking through Cancillo's shot, because Cancillo was throwing some good body shots, but Alvarado was just continuing. And he also, you mentioned the improvements, he also improved defensively, because he was doing a good job of rolling with the shots with his shoulders, you know, not doing the Philly shell defense. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is, you know, when you square up in front of a guy and then you just turn your shoulders a little bit on the inside and you make the hooks slide over the shoulders, he was doing that pretty well, and he was hurting Cancillo with those shots, which eventually led to the stoppage, which is what surprised me. I was very impressed and shocked by that fight.
Yeah, he beat him up. I would hate to be, you know, a family member of Cancillo, because you could tell that those are the type of fights that, you know, that hurt a man. So, you know, I can't dispute the stoppage. It was partly because of a cut, but also because the corner and the referee and the doctor were taking a close look. You know, it was pretty brutal.
And yeah, it was a brutal fight. And going off of that, I'm just looking at Cancillo here on BoxRec, and it says suspended by the California State Athletic Commission until 2020. So he's suspended until January 22nd. How come there's different dates here? Oh, I think it's because they're gonna do it by chunks. They're gonna be looking at it maybe during that time. Yeah, he's certainly not gonna be training or sparring anytime soon either. But that's the thing, René Alvarado, man. I gotta rewatch that Gamboa fight, because I didn't think didn't he give Gamboa some fits in that fight 2.5 years ago?
I didn't watch that fight.
I think he did. And he lost by unanimous decision, which I think was. He also beat Jason Velez, who back when Velez had a little something left, and he wasn't a trail horse like he is now. He also beat Denis Shafikov, who's a very tough fighter. So he's been on a bit of a good streak, and now that he beat Cancillo at his own game and pushed him back and just beat him up and stopped him, let's go to those ratings. Let's go to the.
I think he must have been like a green guy, because he's still young. When he lost that fight to Cancillo, that was 4 years ago.
Right.
So based upon his box rec, I would have to check it. Maybe he did a lot of local fights in Nicaragua.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's the thing. Now getting more seasoned and more experienced.
That's the thing. I'm looking at his record here on BoxRec, and the first about 2 years he fought in Nicaragua. Then he started venturing out to Panama, Costa Rica, Mexico. Well, he fought Robin Castellanos. I didn't know that. He beat him by TKO. So by 2014, he's fighting in the United States. He's fighting in Mexico. So that's when he starts venturing outside more and getting a little bit more experience. he lost a couple of fights. He lost to Joseph Diaz, by the way, and Eric Hunter and Rocky Juarez. But then you can see little by little. That's the thing. These guys from South America, and it's the same thing with. And when I say that South America, let's include Mexico in there. Mexico, Argentina, Nicaragua. Some of these guys, you never see them, or you see them. You know,
Yeah.
they put him in there against prospects or these guys, and they lose fights, and they're tough and competitive, but they end up losing. And then all of a sudden, you give them 1 year or 2 years to retool, and they can make some big improvements. And that, plus the fact that they're tough, makes him very, very hard to beat.
Yeah, and I was looking at BoxRec when you put it up on the screen, BDA, and it this guy was like fighting 4-5 times a year.
Well, yeah, 2015. I mean, look at that. 2015. That's Eric Hunter, Rafael Castillo, Joseph Diaz. He fought 5 times he fought 5 times in 2015. That is, and against pretty good opposition, man. Eric Hunter, Joseph Diaz, Andrew Cancillo. I mean, come on. That's and then he started taking it easy. Well,
yeah. 2016, he only did 2 fights, and 17, how many did he do? Like 3 or 4?
5, man. 5 in 2017.
5. Wow.
And that was against Shafikov, who's always going to take you the distance. Those are a lot of rounds in that year. Now he's fighting at a standard world level pace, which is unfortunately only 2 times a year. But yeah, man. Now listen, Gonzalo, I know I'm probably one of the only guys here who respects Berchelt. What about that? What about Alvarado versus Berchelt?
Alvarado, similar style, but one guy's a left-hander and one's a right-hander.
Yeah, and let's not forget one guy. Well, no, actually, they're both orthodox fighters.
Okay.
And now here's the thing: they're both listed as 5'7", but if you've seen Berchelt fight, you know this guy looks like a junior welterweight in there. I mean, this guy is. I don't know how he's making junior lightweight. Some people say that he's a weight bully, and I would sort of agree on that one because he's a bit of a bruiser who seems to enjoy taking advantage of his size. But I don't know how much. That's the other. Well, I do have to. He did look a lot bigger than Jason Sosa, and Sosa's he's no stick figure, if you know what I mean. He's pretty strong himself.
Yeah, that one kid Alvarado looks. They got like the similar build. He looks pretty strong too, like thin, but like with big muscles, you know, big biceps, and kind of like what do you like? You know, the Mexican construction workers that carry them buckets of cement all day.
Right. Well, yeah, I don't know.
Albañiles, yeah, just like fucking cockstrong.
Yeah, I don't see a lot of albañiles here in Canada, but I'll take your word for it. They're
the Home Depot guys, right?
yeah, the roof workers. By the way, I was the thing I like about Berchelt. The thing I like about Berchelt is that he's a pretty strong dude. I love it when you have a guy like Francisco Vargas who will tear through you if you don't have the stones to back him up. And then he meets a guy like Berchelt who beats him at his own game. And that's when you go, all right, I know Vargas is tough. What the hell does that make a guy like Berchelt? And then he goes in there against the very hard punching Takashi Miura and shows you that he can box a little bit. And now against Jason, so see, that's the thing, Bucho. You were talking about that, about how you like when guys throw caution to the wind. That's Berchelt. He doesn't care too much about technique. He just goes in there and just throws 5 consecutive hooks with both hands to the body.
Yeah. Well, he's gonna get hurt. Well, it's fucking boxing. And he's getting paid, right? So don't give me that bullshit. But sorry, I'm going on a tangent here. But continue.
No, that's okay. That's okay. Gonzalo, what do you think about that? What I just said, throwing caution to the wind, or what Bucho said also about sometimes technique. It won't really do you that much good if you don't have the balls to let your hands go.
Well, yeah, depends on the opponent, and it just like if you're if you can throw a lot of punches and you're strong, and then you got the ability to come forward and overpower guys, you can be like a Salido, like guys like that, exciting fighters.
Mm-hmm.
that can beat many guys. Is that style gonna beat every guy? Maybe it ain't gonna beat a Lomachenko. It's not gonna beat like the top technically sound guys or the back foot fighters, because a lot of Mexicans, they're known, although it might be a little bit of a stereotype, that they don't like facing that slick style.
Oh, come on.
It all depends.
Use that word.
That word, huh?
Yeah, the word. What's the matter with you? All right, now.
Yeah.
But it's a good point. It's a good point you made. By the way, I see we got McGregor on the line. McGregor, are you there?
Yes, Bucho, I'm here.
Did you just call me Bucho?
Yeah.
All right. I think we got the Vinnie Mac impersonator here. Hold on. For that transgression, I'm going to go to the phone lines real quick. 805, you're on the air. 805.
Hey, what's up, BDA? It's Mike Stott. How you guys doing?
Hey, Michael. Hey, what happened with the meeting we were supposed to have on Saturday for the Ryan Garcia meetup?
You didn't get the email?
No. Which email?
No? Oh. I'll have to double check with you maybe after the show.
Okay, that's fine. Anyway, thank you for calling.
All right, you can email me. I don't know.
All right.
Anyways.
Fucking idiot.
What do you want to talk about?
What do you guys think of AJ's mental health?
Good question.
Do you think the guy's kind of going mentally insane, or what do you think?
No, he's fine, man.
With the sound effects.
Why is he going insane?
I don't know. I think I have a feeling that especially if he can't get his shit together, and the same thing happens again, I think for sure he's just gonna have a nervous breakdown and probably not be able to box ever again. But if he, he should win. But either way, I think I don't know. I've just been noticing things about him. I think the guy's kind of I've seen old interviews of him too, where he just shows signs of someone who's a little bit kind of crazy or something. He just kind of has weird bipolar mood swings and stuff, where it seems like it's somebody that has issues sometimes. He's too calm at times, and then there's sometimes you just see the real him come out, where he's just a little bit crazy or something.
So far on Instagram, I've watched some videos, and he's very happy. And I don't know, I'd be a little bit more serious, because this is it's a career-defining fight, and he seems to be pretty relaxed. But who knows, when the fight comes, the day of the fight, he might be a different person.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's what
I mean. Do you guys still think that he thinks in his mind that he's this invincible king of the heavyweight division anymore, or do you think he's delusional in any way, or no?
Didn't he make a statement recently about how he's going, after he knocks out Ruiz or something, then he wants everybody to bow down to the king or something like that? I'm paraphrasing, but he did mention something about people bowing down to him.
Yeah, every so often. That's what I mean. He has these weird little statements or something, and then he has this weird, kind of insane, kind of like the movie Joker. He has this weird smirking laugh, and it's kind of dude, are you psycho, or what's going on in your head, bro? Do you really think this shit that you're saying, or I don't know? He acts like he's joking, but I don't think he's joking.
You know what? I haven't seen too many of his interviews, really. But you're saying he's got a bit of a god complex?
Something like that, or I don't know. He has this weird, where he tries to come across as a nice guy, but then he wants to, if you get too soft, if you underestimate him a little bit, he'll have this weird way where he acts all psychotic to kind of hey, don't forget, I may be a nice guy, but I'll kill you.
Let me tell you this.
You know what I mean?
Right. Let me tell you this, because we did, by the way, check out, everybody, if you haven't done so already, check out the BDA film analysis that we did. It was Gonzalo, Bucho, Recognize, and myself. We watched Ruiz Joshua 1, and link is in the description, so go check it out. And the first part is up, and it's about Ruiz, what he did right. So go check that out. And one of the things we came to the conclusion that what's his name, Ruiz was just a better fighter as well. It wasn't necessarily, because my theory was, well, he got caught, and Joshua did, and he was concussed afterwards. But so did Ruiz. Ruiz got hurt too, and he came back stronger than ever. So he was always one step ahead in that fight. Watch the film analysis for more details, a more detailed explanation. But he was just a better fighter, always one step ahead of Joshua. And Joshua just didn't know. He was going based off of on instinct and trying things, but he wasn't certain of what he wanted to do. And in that aspect, he did show weakness, mental weakness in there. John, I don't know what do you think about that. I mean, John, start. Michael, sorry.
No, I agree, and I think that's the thing too. Is I think what you guys broke down and stuff in his mind, in his little complex going on in his head. I think it was like hard for him to understand, or like just deal with the fact that this guy is just a step ahead of him and stuff, and he couldn't like fathom in his mind like, how is this guy giving me trouble? I think that's why he was just like kind of shocked. Like I think he thought it would be a lot easier.
What do you guys think about what Michael is saying?
But that's his own fault for putting that in his mind.
Right. I mean, yeah, no, I'm asking the panelists, what do you think about what Michael is saying? Because I think there's something to it.
Well, the mental thing. I mean, if you're a fighter, there's got to be a little bit something wrong with you. And if we go through all the other guys, we go down the list, we can find something about their personalities that it does. This is not an advantage or disadvantage on his part. I mean, he's an intelligent guy. He likes to train in and humble backgrounds to where he rents this little room. He doesn't occupy himself with his luxuries. He walks down to his gym. He's a dedicated trainer. He trains with dedication, and this being the rematch, obviously he has to take that into consideration, definitely. And so, like, I wouldn't stress too hard. So now I lost. It's back to the drawing board. I lost.
Mm-hmm.
I know what the other guy brings to the table, and I know what I have. And Anthony Joshua, if I know myself, this is what I bring to the table. I'm a power puncher with two hands. And you can utilize my timing because he's got a good timing to go against the other guy's speed. So if the other guy's gonna attack me, I'm gonna try to time him and punch it between his punches. So I'm not gonna try to like all of a sudden be a master boxer to where I'm pumping jabs and then I'm tying up and I'm reinventing myself because the things that I did didn't work. You have to kind of go with what you know already and utilize your strengths because you have strength advantages over Ruiz, but you just need to capitalize on those. And I think it's his timing and his punching power and his length that he needs to utilize. Okay, and obviously tying up defensively and have a good game plan.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he's a smart guy. He just, he needs to use what he's got going for him. Don't try to reinvent the book. But yeah.
Michael, let's get somebody else. Well, Bucho or Unrivaled?
No, I wasn't going to say anything.
Okay, because I saw your microphone. Well, listen, Michael, I do think that there's something up there with Joshua. I'm not convinced that he's mentally stout, if you catch my drift. But then again, this rematch is going to prove a lot. It's going to show us a lot about what he's made of. I do think he can weather the storm, because he did weather it against White and against Vladimir Klitschko. Against Luis, he couldn't. Is that going to stick to in his craw, or is he going to make adjustments like Gonzalo was saying? We'll see. He can certainly, like Bucho keeps saying, he can certainly catch Luis. He did catch him in the first fight, and he caught him hard. He just needs to avoid exchanging with the man, and maybe, just maybe, he'll make it out fine. What do you think, Michael? Final statements? Because we do got to get to this.
No, I agree. He should be able to. He should have gotten that out of his system from the first fight, especially if he's watched himself, replays of himself, which I'm sure he has. I think he understands what he did wrong, and he's kind of embarrassed. But I think he needs to, understand that he can hurt the guy, like you're saying, and just figure out what he did right and just try to stick to that, and while avoiding, whatever it was he did wrong. And, he should be fine. And, well, my main point is, though, is if Ruiz, if he loses this, I think the guy is still going to be happy with the way his career is going. And I think it's not going to, ruin his career. I think he's going to use it, win or lose or draw, to, enhance his career from here on out. Whereas Joshua, I think he's going to have such a an inferiority complex in his mind or something that
Mm-hmm.
he may not ever box again if he gets embarrassed by Ruiz, and he's going to be, the Twitter and everything. So
I agree. I don't know why, but my senses tell me something. I could be way off. Could be way off, but I agree with you. I think Joshua has I sense a little weakness in him. Just a little bit. Anyway, listen, Michael, we got to go. We got to get through this official boxing report card. So thank you again for calling in. Thank you for the contribution. We'll catch you in the next time, all right?
alrighty, I'll see you guys later.
All right, take it easy. All right, so that was Michael Stotts saying something that I've seen before as well. That I think Joshua, I'm not convinced he's all there mentally. By the way, also a shout out to the Tyson Pigeon. No, hold on a second. What's his name? Mr. Pigeon, Mike Tyson, who dropped the super chat. Shout out to Mr. Pigeon. Pigeon, you gotta leave a comment. Don't waste those super chats without a comment. Come on. Okay, well, he says, how does Boxing Ego get about 1,000 a show? He talks nonsense. Well, that's YouTube for you. By the way, Unrival says he's getting kidney pain. Are you gonna be able to get through this, Unrival?
He's passing out, man.
I hope he's able to contribute. All right, listen. It's been.
Can I say something, BDA, before you get started? I just wanted to say something because it's getting kind of been bugging me.
About what?
Okay, so like Mucho said that the criteria was like, or you said that for like the last 18 months to 2 years with the whole Crawford situation, I think it had to do with him fighting Amir Khan and the way the fight ended, and Benavidez with him having that bad leg and all. So I don't know, like if like you can go back after the Kavaliauskas fight and retroactively, if he wins that fight convincingly, if you could just put like a voting thing to where if they can put him back in the pass instead of a reproof, give him a pass retroactively.
Yeah, well, listen, we're gonna get to that. We'll probably do a round 2 one of these days. Mark, are you right, man? Because I thought you were kidding about the. I don't think he's gonna be able to do the show. Listen, Unrivaled, if you can't fucking do the show, don't stress yourself out. Better get some rest or something. People are saying cranberry juice. All right, let's go to the chat. Oh, actually, Bucho, can you read the chat real quick? I gotta, because we've been here. Man, time flew by. We gotta get to this report card. So let me just go get a quick drink, and once I get back, we're gonna start this. All right.
On Rival, it's in the chat. It says it won't work. Same pain. I had that put me in hospital. Okay. On Rival says remove me. Mark, go to the hospital now. Says Nes Mendoza. What else are people saying in the chat? St. Brit says they haven't started officially. Lol, honestly. What else we have in the chat? All right, guys, we're going to start the report card soon. It's been like, holy shit, what time is it? Are you kidding me? It's been an hour and 30 minutes? Fucking A. We're supposed to do like a short show, man. Oh, man, this is going to be crazy. All right, maybe we're going to have to go quickly through the list of fighters. By the way, let me just open it. Now, if you guys missed that show, the link is in the description. We were doing report cards for boxers, elite boxers. Right now, we are in the super middleweight division. And then we're going to obviously move up. So light heavyweight, cruiserweight, and heavyweight. We're going to complete. All right. Getting up here some messages. All right, Mark is leaving. He's sick. Hope he gets well soon. So yeah, we're going to finish all this today, guys. So hang in there. Triple JJJ says, Bujo can barely read a digital clock. Yeah. Only 90 minutes in Bucho. Ha ha ha. Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Corruption in Boxing says, Den Haag, I leave work, and my lady are in 3 different countries. Yeah, corruption is all over the place. I think he's Interpol. I don't think I should say that. All right. Guys, next Saturday, not next Saturday, the one after. So yeah, so next Saturday, we have Ruiz against AJ. So we're going to do tons of shows about this fight. So get ready. We have Boots. My God.
Recognize the Bucho.
Oh,
Oh, we got to recognize the Bucho.
Yeah, recognize the Bucho.
Lower the volume a little bit, Bucho. It's too high, man. Too loud, I should say.
I'm taking over for Recognize the Matrix.
Hey, recognize you're from New York. How about that Bruce Springsteen just north, a little bit south? Oh, no. What is it? East or north of New York? New Jersey? They love that Bruce
Yeah,
Springsteen.
he's from New
over there.
Jersey, the shit state.
Oh, come on.
I mean, the Garden State. The Garden State.
We got a huge following. Hold on a second. We got a huge following over there in what's it called? In New Jersey. So I'm not going to let you badmouth him, all right?
I'm sorry. I meant to say Garden State.
You're unbelievable.
I did.
Man.
I promised you.
You're unbelievable, man. You're unfucking believable.
Listen.
Yeah, I've been told.
All right, listen. You're right. What were you guys talking about though? Because I just came in. I had to go get a drink before we start and continue. I should say the record course. What was that?
no, recognize has dropped. No,
All right.
we're gonna continue the list, and I think we left off on the super middleweight division.
Right. Well, listen. We're very fortunate that we got recognized just in the nick of time when Unrivaled dropped out because apparently he's not feeling well. Get well soon, Unrivaled. And let's get to it, guys. Let's get to it. As you remember, we are doing the box report cards. We're judging fighters based on their last 2 years, their last performances, and their worth as fighters. Are they doing well? Are they doing exceptionally well? Or are they their fails? Are they fails? And we're going to be taking a whole lot into consideration. It's not just who they fought, it's how they fought, the type of management they have, the promotion, the hype that they're getting. Are they being promoted well? Are they going out on social media and doing everything they got to do? Do they have a strong support from their family, trainers, whatever? And what's the upside too? Some people will give me crap about that, the upside. I shouldn't consider the upside. Well, we're considering the upside. And if you don't like it, you come see me over here, all right? We'll have a little chat, if you know what I mean. Cocksuckers. But the point is, we're going to be continuing with this list. Now, Bucho, we ended with David Benavides, I believe, 168 pounds. Who's the next fighter?
Hold on. I can't find the list.
Well, you know what? Why do you do that? Let's put Julian Williams' picture.
Oh, I got it.
Okay.
All right. Caleb Plant.
Caleb Plant. Hold on a second. All right.
No, wait, did we do Gilberto Ramirez? Yeah, we did. No, you said we stopped at Benavides.
Yeah, we stopped at
After
Benavides.
that,
Anyway, well, I already put
All
Caleb
right.
Plant
All right,
on the
Plant,
screen,
Plant.
and next would be Ramirez. But okay, so we got Caleb Plant over there. By the way, guys, the phone lines are open, so call in if you disagree with us or agree with us, whatever. Guys, what do you think? Caleb Plant, 168 pounds, undefeated. He beat a very tough Uzcategui a couple of fights ago. Got a nice little knockout performance on the undercard of Pacquiao Thurman. What do you guys think about Caleb Plant?
Hype job.
All right.
Because he's a white guy.
Yeah, because he's a
That's why.
whitey.
Yeah.
A
Because he's a
whitey.
white boy. Because hey, look at that white boy. Man, white
He
boys
can't
bleed
fight,
a lot.
man.
What's that?
Nah, he could fight. I'm kidding, man. I'm kidding. He could fight.
No, I give him a fail because of what he did with his wife.
What he did with his wife?
Didn't he break up with his wife to go date that TVC reporter? Or reporter,
Oh,
TVC,
no.
whatever, interviewer, whatever.
He turned the mistress into the main one?
Yeah.
Mistake. You see, that's a young man mistake right there.
It's a young man.
Yeah.
I regret something he's gonna regret. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, yeah. I mean, you never leave your main woman. You never leave your main woman unless she's cheating on you, but you never leave your main woman for the side piece. She's a side piece. Remember that.
That this is wisdom from recognizing.
I was gonna say that words of
That's
wisdom.
right.
No, but
You
it's
see,
true.
even though I made a lot of mistakes in my life, that's the one thing I never did. I never left my side piece for my main woman. Well,
It's
maybe
interesting.
once, but anyway.
But see, Bucho, it's interesting because I thought that because I know you guys heard about that hard luck story from Caleb Plant that his son or not daughter, he had a daughter born prematurely and she ended up not surviving. I don't know if it was a son or a daughter. They ended up not surviving, suffered a lot before they put her down. I mean, fuck, euthanize her. And And then his mother gets shot by the police. I don't know what happened there. I don't know if it was suicide by a cop or whatever. But he does have. He seems to be pretty talented. He doesn't take crap from anybody. I don't know if you guys saw, but he got into a bit of a scuffle with not David Benavides, but Benavides' brother. What's his name?
Oh yeah, Jose.
Jose. Yeah, I don't know what had the video I saw. There was no context.
Jose's a troublemaker. I don't know if you realize that. There's the reason why he got shot. So
exactly. Exactly.
I'm guaranteeing you he wasn't innocent in that situation. He was talking shit. Maybe something went down. He made a threat. And the guy said, "You threatening me? I'm gonna shoot you."
But it's true.
He got shot in Arizona, right?
I don't know where, but
yeah, did the ecstasy capital of the world of America. So yeah, I wonder who he was messing with.
No, it's true because he also got into a scuffle with Terrence Crawford.
Yeah.
So this guy is not
with Terrence Crawford.
Yeah. But did I lose everybody? Okay, well, yeah, I'm just
here.
okay.
I'm here. That boy's Mexican thug life right there.
He is. I mean, he's. And by the way, I mean, all right. So before we go into the pass, fail, or honor roll, what about his relationship thing? Then is it a pass? Is it an honor roll, or is it a fail? What happened with him?
Based on what Recognize said, it's a fail.
Well, in my opinion, look, I'm outside, but it's a fail. I really think that kid got mental issues. I mean, his mother got shot by the cops, which makes you wonder what kind of mother he had. His daughter passed away.
I don't know if it was his daughter or premature son or whatever, but yeah,
yeah, that's kind of
it was his daughter.
That could fuck you. I've never went through that, and I hope I never do. But that could fuck a man up.
I gotta tell you, you were talking about Benavides being a troublemaker. I think Caleb Plant is a little bit of a psycho. He's not a
I think he's I agree with you. I think there's a criminal element to his lifestyle. Yeah.
I didn't say that though. I didn't say.
No, I'm gonna say it. I think he's a criminal. I think he was born. I think he was raised that way. Yeah.
Well, the reason why I say he's a bit of a psycho, what I was saying was that he seems to be a bit of a wild goose.
And the rapist.
Well, no, he seems to be like a bit of a wild goose because he seems to get into this type of situations, and that's true. What Recognize is saying, his mother, and he gets into situations where you think, okay, it's not just the other guy's fault, and also think about it: who becomes a boxer? It's usually people that. Well, what's
comment section? They fucking
grimy white boy.
Who said that?
They're killing me right now.
Oh man, but
recognize the testosterone.
Yeah. Can I give my take?
Absolutely, yeah.
Sorry, Gonzalo, for messing up the.
No, I'm just listening. Well, this guy Caleb Plant, 19 fights, 11 KOs. He got a above average punching power. I think he's got average power, but it's kind of deceptive to where he can get knockouts because he dropped Uzcategui. By the way, he's a he's a friend of mine, and he beat Rogelio Medina, but he had a tune-up or two. He fought this guy from this college graduate from Notre Dame. He was unheralded. He had only lost one time. This guy, not really a good fighter. He took a tune-up, but his two fights prior to that, they were good wins.
Notre Dame.
Especially the Uzcategui win. He became champion, and he showed craftiness. Okay, to where at 168, he's a strong guy, and I like his story. Even though it's not something that appeals to me, but I'm pretty sure it appeals controversy, and it's a pretty crazy story. So I'd say it's a pass, and plus he's dating the PVC chick.
But you don't like bottom line.
Picture?
Yeah, I already put one up, man. Yeah, I already put one up. But bottom line, Gonzalo, you don't like him because he's white, right?
No, I don't dislike him. He's all right. He stood up to the Benavides. Those guys kind of they're like bullies.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah,
I
it's
like
true.
the father. The father's cool, and David's all right. He's cool, but Jose, I think he's doing drugs. That's just my opinion, and he's crazy. Something's wrong with him.
Yeah, I think
He's
I'm
got
gonna
that
have
thug
to.
in him, like Recognize was saying.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to
Yeah.
agree with Recognize and Gonzalo. I think that the younger. I think he's the younger Benavides, right? Or maybe older. I don't know. Anyway, I think Jose
He's the
Benavides.
older, but he's the lower weight division.
Right. Yeah, I think he's a bit of a troublemaker. He likes to shake the boat a little bit. So okay, so bottom line, guys, because we gotta move along. But Caleb Plant, honor roll, pass or fail?
He's on the roll, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
What was
A
it?
pass, I guess. A
I'm gonna
pass.
say he's a pass. Yeah, I agree with that too. He's a pass.
Muscategi's a tough guy.
Very
Yeah,
tough.
Segui is definitely a tough guy. That was a good win. He's got good talent. I think above average boxing skills. The total package deal in terms of it's above average. He's good. He's good. I don't like his outside stuff, but I'm not really judging that. Not in the ring.
I'm gonna go ahead then and give him a pass. You guys are right. I think a pass is something that's pretty good. I mean, listen, like Uzcategui, Porky Medina, those are pretty good wins. And if he does end up taking on Benavides and beats him, ooh, then he's on the right track. Definitely Caleb Plant is on the right track. Now, speaking of, oh, what the heck was that? Speaking of what's his name, Medina. I mean, of Caleb Plant. Just real quick, you guys watch the screen again. You talk about Caleb Plant getting in trouble. This is a video from a couple of years ago, but this is Caleb Plant in a neighborhood. I don't know if you guys can. Are you guys watching the screen?
yeah, I've seen that before, but yeah. Anyhow,
Yeah, that's
Yeah, go
Caleb
ahead.
Plant taking on a brother. I don't know what he's doing in that neighborhood. I guess he was playing b-ball with the boys, and he ended up taking on this big dude, and the big dude after a while got tired and he couldn't catch him, and he was just eating jabs. Some people say that's Caleb Plant. I don't know if that's Caleb Plant. I think that, but anyway. And by the way, you know who gets a fail? The guy who filmed this. Look at this. It's all upside down, man. Anyway, let's move on to the next fighter there.
he probably got knocked out, and he's filming from the prone position.
I don't know what happened, but it's a pretty. If you have the time, it's a good little entertaining video. Saint Britt says that's not him. Listen, he looks white. He's got a crew cut. Let's say it's Caleb Plant, all right? Bucho, let's go to the next fighter, if you will, please. Who's the next fighter?
I think that was Sean Knight.
Who's Sean Knight?
No, I don't know. The guy who's like he claims he's black, but he's actually white.
Oh, Sean. What's his real name?
I don't know, man. Fucking. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, they call him Powder. Was that
Gilberto Ramirez?
Gilberto El Zurdo Ramirez. All right, hold on a second. Where is he? Is it with the G? Did you put him with the G there? No, you put. Yeah, there he is. All right, Gilberto El Zurdo Ramirez. A lot of people are high on him, the Mexicans, because they have a Mexican that's over 160 pounds. Lately, he's okay. So let's take a look at who he has beaten in the past couple of years. All right, let's start with 2018. Habib Ahmed, who was undefeated, but all right. Romer Alexis Angulo, he went the distance with him, and if I remember, he didn't look all that great. He rematched Jesse Hart, rematch from 168 pounds, and it was a majority decision. And then he took on Tommy Carpensi, who is a decent puncher, although not that great a boxer, and it ended up going to a technical decision. So, guys, what about it? What about El Zurdo Ramirez?
It's a fail. It's a fail. He hasn't fought anybody.
Pass. He beat Jesse Hart twice.
Yeah, the Jesse Hart fights,
Damn.
that was at super middle and at light heavy. Was Tommy Carpentier light heavy?
Yeah. Yeah, he's a light heavyweight
We're
now.
just judging him on his super middleweight career.
Well, that could be so. I guess I don't know what really has to say about that because he's been inactive. But if we're gonna go by past performances, we got to start somewhere, right? Or is he an automatic disqualification because he has been inactive?
I'm gonna give.
Only
Listen,
fought one time.
He's
Yeah,
fought.
it's negative, no?
Listen,
I feel like telling my mother-in-law to shut up. I could hear her from here. She comes visit, and you can hear her talking so damn loud. I don't know if you guys can hear this.
no, we can't hear her. No,
Pero que
unfortunately.
pasó fue.
Yeah, they're gossiping. What?
I think that you have too much testosterone, man.
Yeah. He can't stand. He can't stand a bunch of women talking. Shut up in there. All right. No, but listen. 2018. He wasn't that inactive. He was inactive this year. But
Okay, so the last two, but he was in the one division beneath.
That's true. That's true. Yeah, you're right. You're right. But we're not judging on whether he spent a year at the last 2 years at light heavyweight. I mean, we're just judging on his trajectory, and the trajectory is. Listen, I'm gonna be harsh on this one because I'm Mexican, and otherwise people say, "Oh, you're always biased for the Mexicans." I'm gonna give him a fail. On Rival in the chat room says fail too, so that's 2 fails. Actually, no, hold on. Bucho, you said fail too, right?
Yeah, fail. Fight Scout, fail. Doc, fail.
Yeah,
I mean,
it's a fail because he hasn't done shit in his career for like the last 4 years, aside from fighting Jesse Hart. I mean, Tommy Carpensi, he lost to Fanfara, he lost to Stevenson, he lost to Vosdick. He knocked this guy out. I think he broke his rib. Gilberto Ramirez, but
Carpensi really just because he knocked out Chad Dawson. No, he didn't knock him out. He beat him, right? A very lackluster Chad Dawson a couple of years ago. So he's not a bad fighter, but when people talk about Ramirez, oh, he's undefeated, he's the next this, he's the next that. Show me. Stop beating up these guys, and on paper you know you can beat. And by the way, the Jesse Hart fight, the rematch, it was a closer fight than the first one, I believe. So, and even in the first one when he dropped Jesse Hart, adapted and he was making him look very bad. So I'm not convinced with Ramirez. I'm gonna give him a fail. Reckon I said pass. And what did you say, Gonzalo?
I was kind of unsure. I was gonna say pass, but in reality, that would have been bad on my part. It's a fail because if Terrence Crawford got a fail, this guy gets a fail.
Of course, there's high expectations from this guy, and he hasn't met any of them.
Bucho, can you give us the sound effect or the? That's a fail for Gilberto El Zurdo Ramirez. Sorry, Ramirez. Better luck in the next quarter when we check out the BDA stock at the same time and we do this again. Hopefully you do better. But for right now, get yourself a fail. He needs to go to Remedial 101. Remedial boxing. He's going to go to summer school. That's what he's going to do. All right, so that's Ramirez. He needs to go to summer school. Better luck next time. Bucho, who's next?
175 light heavyweight. We have Artur Beterbiev.
Artur Beterbiev. What's his nickname again? Smash or the Monster? Or
I don't know. What the hell is
Beterbiev was born a pass.
He was born that.
So after that,
yeah,
it could be an honor roll. So he was born a pass. Like as soon as he was born.
He was for a while. Let's be honest. We were complaining.
You're right. He fought like nobody.
Recently, I mean, because of this big win, pass. But I mean, honor roll actually.
Honor roll because I think he got the 15 KOs and 15 fights, 100% KO ratio. He beat Vosdick, which I thought still is a really good fighter, and he's the best in the division, in my opinion.
Yeah, that
the real boogeyman.
Yeah, he gets a high grade because remember he destroyed Kalajic first. Right? I'm saying his name right, the Serbian.
Oh yeah. That Kalajic
looks like doesn't even look Serbian.
Yeah, he looks like a cholo.
Serbian or whatever he is.
Cholo.
Forgot what. Yeah, so he beat that guy, dominated him. Then he dominated Vosdick.
Yeah, okay, first of all, does this look like a Serbian, man? Watch the screen and you tell me. This guy's like a cholo from LA. Look at him. I don't know what type of tan he gets. He probably has a tanning bed at home or something. And then he's
they got like Arab blood in them too, don't they?
That's true. Yeah, maybe. Yeah.
I mean, because like that whole region, they're all close to each other. That part of the world. So I wouldn't be surprised.
Doc in the chat room says the Serbian cholo. Yeah, the Serbian. That's what we should call him. By the way, people keep in the chat room saying Jonathan Mercer says, "Oh shit, hold on, I lost the." But their honor says Saint Brit. Honor roll says Unrivaled. Hold on a second. Doc says Berbiev. Fight Scout says Lamidas got married and got heavy. Oh, the opposite. It's usually the woman, once she gets married and has kids, she gets fat, but it's Ramirez apparently who's turning into a pig.
It's a Latin woman's trick. That's a Spanish woman's trick right there. They marry you and fatten your ass up.
It is.
Unacceptable, man.
Unacceptable. Hold on a second. So people are saying official says honor roll. Official. Okay, no, okay, hold on. Official is Serbian, I think, right? Or from. Oh shit! I hope I didn't. Oh, is official Croatian, Serbian, or I always forget.
Serbian, I believe.
Okay, Serbian. Okay. Transnational says he looks like one of them Puerto Rican baseball players. Yeah, he does look. Kalashnik does look like a Puerto Rican baseball player. All right, but listen. So
he's got the hype for it. I'll tell you that.
I think Sammy Sosa is whiter than this guy.
Sammy Sosa said that's his natural skin color.
Oh, come on. Yeah, so is Michael Jackson's.
That's gonna give him cancer or some shit. I mean, what the fuck is that, man?
Yeah. He's got pretty good upside too, because of the knockout power and the fact that I think people are calling him like the Russian Khabib. You know,
Khabib is Russian.
The Khabib of boxing.
Yeah, the Khabib of
boxing.
So
he must have a lot of popularity with that fan base. And one downside, I think, a little bit, is because he's 34 years of age. And he's only got few fights. But anyways.
Unrival in the chat room says, Gvozdyk was on the ground more than African-American troops during the 60s. Yeah, there was a lot of. Don't forget, there were a lot of Hispanics too. Don't forget the Hispanics. All the minorities got sent into the grinder. I certainly remember those days myself. The only way you could get through, the only way you could get through that was a little bit of LSD and the Doors, and maybe a little bit of Smokey Robinson too at the end of the night, if you could make it through that.
Let's move on. So we give him a pass. No, we give him an honor roll, right?
Honor roll, because like Reknai said, that Serbian Puerto Rican that he fought was pretty good. Before that, he took on Colin Johnson. Before that, he took on Johnson, who was undefeated, and he got off the canvas for that one. And then the Gvozdyk fight, that was just gold. That was absolute gold. So I'm gonna go honor roll.
All right. I don't. What sound should I play for that? This.
You're a nice guy. You're a nice guy. But I don't fucking cut it when you're bullshitting and fucking around like this.
Fuck my ass. Come on my face.
Oops, sorry, I played that one by accident. All right. All right, so we're giving... Guys, you agree then? Honor roll? Gonzalo and Regnes?
Yeah.
Yes.
Honor roll. There we go.
He's an honor roll student.
There you go. Keep it up, Beterbiev, and you'll get to the best universities in the world. All right.
All right. Wait, we have a phone call here. Oh boy.
Oh, wait a minute. Come on, Butcher. Do we really want to do this all the time, though? Or...
Just take it.
All right.
Who is it?
585. You're on the air. 585.
City Mac.
Yes, how you guys doing? This is Vince.
Good, Vinny. Good to have you on board. This is
Vinny Mac when you call in.
This is BDA, by the way. This is BDA before you think it's Pucho. All right.
Sure, no problem. How you doing, Mr. BD? I'm doing great. How you doing, Mr. Recognize?
I'm doing
I hope
great.
You guys are doing great, and I'm ready to go in on you guys talking junk about my guy, Mr. Jamal Charlo. Excuse me.
Well, what did we say this episode? I don't remember. What did we talk smack about him? I actually gave him his props, so I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm not sure if it was Mr. Gonzalo or someone was giving Mr. Hulk Hogan, or I should say Chris Hogan, some props. He can actually box, but the problem is, guys, Charlo is going to make a statement here. Okay, he's going to make a huge statement, and he's going to put Mr. Canelo and Mr. Demetrius Andrade on notice, and Mr. Triple L as well.
Mr. Triple L. Oh, that's a tough talk, man. That's very tough talk, Vinny. What do you guys think about what Vinnie Mac is saying? You think Charlo's going to make a statement against a very mobile and fast?
I've
Dennis
never
Hogan?
been so bored in my life. That's what I think. What Vinnie Mac just said.
Yeah.
Charlo's going nowhere.
Let me ask you. Let me ask you a question, Mr. Recognize. What bores you about my little comment there?
That Charlo's gonna put who on notice? He's gonna put everybody on notice. I mean, Canelo just knocked out Kovalev. How is he gonna put him on notice? He's a little guy compared to who he just knocked out. Is he gonna beat? Is he gonna beat that? Is he gonna beat that Canelo? Wait, let me ask you a question, Vinny.
We know Mr. Kovalev is pretty old.
Okay, but he's still like 6'1", and 190 in the ring. He knocked him out. How's he gonna? I mean, are you talking about Charlo beating that Canelo? That same guy? Well, he could just hit you
actually,
with one punch and knock you out.
To be honest with you guys, I know you guys are probably gonna start laughing, but I don't care. If Canelo and Jermall Charlo fight, guess what I'm going for, guys? That belt is going to the PVC.
You're unbelievable, man. You're unfucking believable.
No, I'm being serious, guys.
Seriously, man, you and me, we're fucking done professionally.
All right.
Okay,
So you think?
Okay. You saw. Okay, look. Canelo hit. He barely hit Kovalev, and he knocked him out. Right. And Kovalev is a much bigger man. He's older, grant you. But the fight before that, he got hit by a guy who weighs 200 fucking pounds, and he couldn't get him out of there. But Canelo did, right? Canelo stopped him. Whatever we think about the fight, the end result was he knocked him out. So that Canelo, the same Canelo that knocked out Kovalev, is gonna get knocked out by Charlo. Is that what you're saying?
I didn't say he would get knocked. I didn't say that, Mr. Recognize. I didn't say that he was going to get knocked out, but he can definitely get hurt. And I believe that Jermall Charlo will collect these belts. Eventually, these guys are going to have to fight him. They can't run forever.
All right, listen.
Right. Well, I don't think they're running, but
nobody's running out.
I'm just trying to understand your logic. You're saying that Canelo, the last guy that just fought, who's built like a rock, right? And he punches hard enough to knock out a light heavyweight.
You have to excuse me. I will be back. I actually have a life, but I will be calling back, Mr. BDA, and we can argue this again. Okay?
Vinny, I didn't think you could get any lower than that.
All right, Vinny, thank you for the call. And he dropped that. I was gonna do my shtick with him, a little banter. All right, so it's Vinny Mac making predictions and taking names as well.
Vinny hung up. I was gonna tell him, my favorite line: go somewhere and fuck yourself.
Oh, jeez. Are you talking to your mother-in-law, or was that to Vinny? I
know too.
The same tone. Yeah, the same tone. All right, let's go. Let's move on. So we get Beterbiev. We gave him a honor roll. Bucho, this light heavyweight division is jam packed. Who do we have next?
Dmitry Bivol.
Dmitry Bivol. All right, he who looks like a Chinaman and not so much like a Kazakh. What do you call him? Kazakh?
Looks like Kazakhstan. There's a lot of that Asian mix over there.
It's true. They do.
He looks more like Triple G than Russia, Mother Russia. Well, Triple G is Russian too. Let's not forget that.
Well, Costa Zoo too. I mean, he looked a little bit Asian, and then you looked at his father, and he looked up.
What was they called? I forgot what that mix was called. Shit, maybe somebody in the chat. The Asian and Eastern European mix. Eurasian. Excuse me. Yeah.
That's short for you are an Asian. Now listen, we got. Come on, it wasn't that funny, man. We got.
I thought it was great. I think you underestimated yourself. That was
Well, thank you there. Listen, let's go to 2018 for Bivol. That's the starting point, all right? Barrera, Chilemba, Pascal, Joe Smith Jr., Lenin Castillo. Now, some of you guys are gonna say, "Whoa, that's a good little resume." Then you look at the fact that other than Sullivan Barrera, which I think is still his best performance. You know what? Let's cut the Barrera fight. Let's cut that because that's way too long. Let's go to August 2018. That's a decision over Chilemba, a decision over Jean Pascal, which is a very tough fighter. The only guy who's ever taken him out was Kovalev. Joe Smith Jr., another decision over a fearsome puncher. And then Lenin Castillo, who was a big dude. He looked like a cruiserweight in there.
Fucking cruiserweight in that ring.
Yeah. And Dominican also, by the way. But then again, also, he was, another decision. So, guys, what do you think? Bivol, is he looking great? Is he dangerous? You tell me.
High
He's
pass.
looking great.
Got great boxing skills. So I'm going to give him a high pass.
Yeah, he seldomly loses a round. And he's a small guy fighting at 175 to where pound for pound, I would have to say, he's one of the best. And you can have two good guys in the division. I think actually, I said Bitter BF is the best because he's a unified, but this guy's up there until he loses. This guy's proving to be exceptionally a good boxer. So I have to say he's an honorable as well.
I think Gypsy said that he has the best boxing skills he's seen. I don't know if I totally agree with that, but he's on to something when it comes to that. Like he's a very good boxer, fluid puncher, great with footwork. He doesn't lose hardly any rounds. So he's really good, man.
Good stamina and keeps his focus.
He reminds me a lot of, now that you guys mentioned it, he reminds me a lot of Donny Nietes and Juan Manuel Marquez. Because when people think a great boxer, they think a guy who fights with one hand down, a lot of upper body movement. He's a very well-schooled guy, hard to hit, very good timing, sets up shots nicely, good hand speed, in and out movement, and like Gonzalo just said, great stamina. But if you want that honor roll, you can't be going decisions. You gotta put a little more mustard on those shots. Try to go for the kill a little bit more. Even though his position, like I said, it's pretty good. So Gonzalo, you said honor roll, right?
Yes.
What did Recognize say? Anybody remember?
I don't remember. But I say a pass.
Pass?
Until he takes us to the next level. Like we were talking about Beterbiev, but he has a Vosig win, which is a big difference here.
Right.
Bivol doesn't win like that yet. So
and Gvozdyk had the Stevenson win, which I know a lot of people say, we gave Stevenson crap on this show, but he was the lineal champ and a very hard puncher, just like Deontay Wilder. That guy could take you out with one single shot, and he had better boxing skills than Deontay Wilder. So Gvozdyk had that win. Bivol's best win at this point, I still say it's either the Barrera win or the Pascal win. Chilemba too, pretty good, but again, he's been going decisions way too much. I'll wait for Recognize. Well, actually, I don't know.
Yeah. Fight Scout said Bivol struggles toe to toe. Official boxing's close court says, okay, he's saying something else. Unrivaled Boxing Talking News says a pass. And he also says he needs a top 3 win. Exactly.
Yeah, Toniato James said the same thing. It's not that he's been winning by decision, but it's the fact that he hasn't had a standout win.
Yeah, I think he's just fighting above his weight class. If he'd be fighting a super middle, he'd probably be getting more knockouts. He's got, 11 out of 16, so it's above 50. It's like a 60%. But yeah, then again, he hasn't faced like the A+ guy.
Yeah. And let's not get it twisted. He can punch. Otherwise, you don't see people running after him. He can crack.
No.
But he's not.
Didn't he drop Lenin Castillo?
Yeah, he did. Who's a pretty big dude, like we said. He looked like a cruiserweight in there. So he's got good power, but I think that's what I said in the best way is he reminds me a lot of Juan Manuel Marquez circa 1999, 2005. You remember when Marcus used to go through that, where he was just going through the motions, keeping guys on the outside, combinations. He wasn't really intent too much on stopping guys. I mean, anyway, listen. Marcus did have a little period in that between where he was knocking people out, but for the most part, he was content on going decisions. That's what Bivol reminds me of. He's not putting the pedal to the metal to get those stoppages.
Yeah, he reminds me. You guys might think that I'm crazy, but he reminds me a little bit of Terrence Crawford. In and out, in and out. The way he fought Postal and Benavides.
Yeah,
I'm gonna be here. What you're doing, I'm just gonna do a little better. What you're showing me, I'm gonna show you back, but just beat you at your own game.
Yeah, listen, that's a good comparison. Official scorecard says he's torn between the honor roll and the pass. Well, let me tell you something. I'm gonna make an executive decision. I'm gonna give him a pass because he has been winning. But then again, we complain about Mayweather getting a whole bunch of decisions during his career and not going for the kill. So we have to do the same thing with Bivol here. We gotta stick to the standards. That's all we've got, our standards. So I'm gonna give him a pass.
And I could see BDA how this guy could fly under the radar. To where his upside is not all that great, to where he can go unperceived. Just it seems like it.
Yeah.
Because of that factor, you don't have that concussive one punch power.
It's all about that X factor, man. You gotta have it. If you don't have it, you don't get an honor roll. Or you don't get into the honor roll. Bucho, who's next?
All right, who's next? We have. Oh, we're moving all the way to the heavyweight division. Tyson Fury.
Tyson Fury. There's only one Tyson Fury. There we go. Wearing the colors of the good old USA. Bucho, you want to play that again?
Don't mind if I do.
All right, that cut off there. We didn't even get to hear Born in the USA. We just heard Born. There we go. All right, so right away, people in the chat room are saying, Jonathan Murs says fail. Official scorecard boxing says pass. G Boogie, I think it's G Boogie, says fail. Doc says skipping cruiserweight casuals. Oh, we're gonna talk about Dorticos and what's the other guy? Brady's. Come on, everybody left until they repopulate that cruiserweight division. I'm skipping it. Besides, we already been on for 2 hours. So, guys, what do we say about Tyson Fury?
I'd give him a pass because he weathered the storm when he got that cut, and basically based off of that. And if that contract is signed for February the 22nd, like they're saying it is, I'm just gonna give him a slight pass.
Yeah, same thing. Slight pass because of the Wilder fight. I think he beat Wilder, but there's nothing that's been happening after that. He fought Wallin and somebody else. I don't even remember who it was. Who the hell was it?
Tom Schwartz.
Tom Schwartz.
Jeez, yeah. So slight pass, but a pass nonetheless.
I'm going to agree. Listen, if he would have got that win against Deontay Wilder, which he did deserve the win, by the way, but he didn't get it. And after that, what did he do this year? Tom Schwartz and Otto Wallin. Now, some people are going to say, yeah, but BDA, come on, those guys are solid. Blah, blah. Okay, but on paper, is that really the best fights that he could have made? Were you really excited to watch those fights? And against Otto Wallin, it was just listen, it's the heavyweight division. It's giants. Can't fight at a high pace. Against Schwartz, you know what? That's the other thing. Tyson Fury did get a boost from the Schwartz performance because he did manage to stop him, and they kept replaying that part where he was on the ropes, rolling with his jaws. Other than that, I mean, I gotta go with a very low pass, man. Just he barely passed. So that's what we're going with. Slight pass. There we go.
Yeah, and as far as marketability, he's becoming a crossroads guy to where he's jumping onto other things.
Yeah. Oh, wait, that's the other thing. The wrestling, and then there's the mental issues where he talks about how he doesn't care about the heavyweight division. He doesn't. I mean, the title. He doesn't know if he wants to keep fighting. I mean, it's just this. It's like that student that you know has.
I don't know.
What's that?
He could be playing mind games.
Could be. It is the gypsy style, but I don't know, man.
The whole wrestling thing. It was one fight. One fight.
Yeah.
Exhibition. I call it only fight, right? He has time. He was waiting for Wilder to have his fight. He's waiting for that February date. And so he's like, well, I'll go have one fight and get some money. I don't think it's a big deal. I don't, he's not doing it again now. He's gonna train and be ready for February.
Yeah, but still, I think it's a slight pass. He passed just slightly. He's a student that has the big potential, but he just doesn't set his mind on it. He's collecting stamps and spends time in the basement on the ham radio with a bunch of weirdos. So we're gonna give him that slight pass. All right, slight pass. Who's next, Bucho?
Deontay Wilder.
Deontay Wilder, the man of the hour, because he just fought this Saturday and scored a sensational knockout. Even though the performance prior to that should be sending his fans into a little bit of a worry, but let's see what people say in the chat room first. Whoops, we already got some results coming in. They're saying fail.
Fail. Same breed fail. The handsome history of Bolt fail. Boxing virus. Yes, I don't know what he's talking about, but a lot of people are saying fail.
Buddy Aces says honorable. The hand history vault says super fail. G Boogie says fail. Toniato James slight pass again, I guess. Glenn Rodwell says he can't box, fail. All right, let's. Official box scorecard says fail. Boxing virus says pass. Gonzalo, what do you think?
I give him a pass.
But you got to make a case.
He's got the 10th defense tying Ali, but that was like when Ali, there was only one belt and two later on, but he was that guy Ali. And this guy only holds one belt, but then again, it's the 10th defense of that. And he's got real high KO ratio. And he's talking about he's going to fight Wilder. And he is a champion, so it's love him or hate him. He got that punching power, and what I have to say about that. That's basically it. But for some reason, I find myself giving him a strong pass. Strong pass, not a honor roll, but he just passes. He needs to start fighting somebody.
Fail, and fail, because what he's done in the last 2 years, he hasn't done that fucking shit. Luis Ortiz, he defeated him once. That was enough. I don't know why they had a rematch. So that means that the rematch I don't count. It doesn't apply here in the ratings. And he lost against Tyson Fury, who was coming off a 2-year layoff where he was doing cocaine, had suicidal thoughts, was an alcoholic, and he lost that fight, right? So it's a fail. I don't give a shit about the 10 title defenses. He hasn't even unified. So to me, it doesn't matter. Yeah. And how did he win the title? By fighting Brain Steven. So he's not even a champion in my eyes. So he is a fail. He hasn't done shit for how many fights? 40-something plus fights? And his biggest win is Luis Ortiz? And when they were saying about Tyson Fury, he beat an old Klitschko. Well, fuck, Wilder just beat an old Ortiz who's never done shit in the amateurs or professional at the professional level. He's not even a champion, never has been. So if we're gonna use that criteria that he used against the Klitschko,
but wait a minute, Bucho. But Bucho, Luis Ortiz was the boogeyman.
Fuck that shit. See, these people at some point they're gonna contradict themselves. Klitschko was an old bum, but now Ortiz is like a fucking boogeyman. A guy who's never been a fucking champion. And never did shit in the amateurs.
Listen, Wilder, I understand your point of view. He fought Brazil, who's not that great. He fought Ortiz again, older Ortiz, and he was losing that fight. But we're talking about results here. He got those 2 sensational knockout wins. And let me tell you something else. Joshua didn't take...
man.
Was that?
Twice. He was getting out, like you said, Wilder was getting outboxed twice.
Yeah, but he won. But he won. That's the main thing here.
Our criteria, we're including everything, right? Remember?
Right.
So I'm including every fucking thing.
But the main thing is, all right.
Knocking an old man doesn't matter. Losing rounds, to me, is a bigger loss here. Losing against Tyson Fury, because he did lose that fight, is another. I take even more points away from Deontay Wilder. So his report card is a fail.
This is the way I kind of judge him by the losing of the rounds. Okay, with the good boxer like Tyson Fury, okay, if he tries to box Tyson Fury, he most likely is still gonna lose the round, whether it's by a little or by a lot. So why try boxing a guy that you know is gonna outbox you? Just keep him honest with the right hand and laser that hand and keep throwing it. And eventually you're gonna get the knockout you were looking for. But now it didn't happen to where he kept him there. The guy got up, it was rolled a draw. But I'm basically talking about what he needs to do in this next fight. He's not gonna outbox Fury. So don't even try to go tit for tat. You know, basically just zero in your right hand and keep throwing it because Fury most likely is not gonna knock out Wilder. So I mean, Wilder doesn't really have to fear the power because he's gonna have him around for rounds. Fury's gonna be around, and that gives him more of a time frame for Wilder to land that right hand. So he's got 12 rounds to play with, and he whether he tries to win a round or not, he's still gonna lose it. So just hold in that right hand and keep throwing it.
Very
because
good
you're
points,
not
but
gonna win a round.
Very good points, Gonzalo. But we gotta get to this. Is he a pass? Is he a fail? Or is he on another roll? That's the thing.
I just gave him a pass, but you know that's just my opinion. I'm not high on the guy. You know, I'm just. This is basically it. He needs to put up or shut up. You know, with the bomb squad. This is it where the rubber meets the road.
Those 10 defenses, I don't give. I mean, please, come on. In this day and age, when you have 4 belts, having 10 title defenses is nothing, man. Come on.
Yeah, but we have one guy that has 3 belts, so there's only 2 guys that are actual champions. The other guy, we gave a pass to Fury, and what does he call himself? The lineal champion?
You have 10 fights, and you never tried to unify. During those 10 defenses, and during that time, you couldn't manage to try and get a unification fight. So that's another fail, in my opinion.
Yeah. I could see that. I could see all that.
Yeah.
Butch is just throwing out a bunch of. Yeah, Butch is just throwing out a bunch of fails. Well, listen.
Did you guys realize that whole hysteria has been going on after this? Or like nobody expected this or something? The odd makers were telling you it was going to be a knockout. So why are people shocked? Why are we giving Wilder credit now? All of a sudden, because he beat Ortiz again, which we knew was going to happen. Fail, and fail.
All right, people but listen, Tyson Fury got a pass for a year that was mediocre, and that's polite. Listen, I'm gonna make the executive decision. I'm gonna go with a low pass. This heavyweight division has been very mediocre, but they are passing. Listen, Mucho, come on, it's a pass, man. Yeah, there you go. It's a pass for Deontay Wilder, and hopefully, 2020 we see better fights. We see the best fighting the best, and that's about it. But Bucho makes a very, very compelling point. If you would have caught me off guard with it,
I'm not high on the guy. I'm just, it's like whatever.
Almost everybody in the chat said fail. Some people said pass.
Agree with his behavior, man. We're gonna what's the word here?
We're gonna condone his career path. You mean?
Yeah, basically.
Wow.
He's gonna repeat the thing. He's gonna follow the same pattern.
So. Yeah, if we encourage that type of thing. But then again, listen, at heavyweight, the guy who had the best resume was Joshua, and he ended up losing. So he dropped a notch, and then all these other guys got pushed up. But then again, like you said, Wilder, best opponent, Ortiz. Tyson Fury, best opponent was Klitschko, and then he fought Wilder. But the Klitschko thing was almost 5 years ago. So I mean, other than Joshua who had the best resume, it's right now it's pretty thin.
The zone offer. Let's move on. But
I tell you one thing, Bucho. If you have everything the same, but you have it to where Wilder doesn't have all those knockouts, he gets a fail. If he gets 2-3 less knockouts to where it's not almost a perfect knockout percentage, I give him a fail. But since he's got that one side to him with the punching power, I'm like, well, all right.
Look at the list of fighters he knocked out, and it's weird that when he fights Tyson Fury, he doesn't get that KO on his record, but when he fights all these other bombs, he does get a KO next to them. I mean, come on, just think about it, man.
Now listen, I'll give him a pass, and this isn't any affirmative action. All right, it's not the BDA board of directors putting the affirmative action on those. We're saying pass, and most people in the
KO Povetkin next to him in his record. KO Dylan White. KO Chisora. KO. Joseph Parker. I'd be like, all right, you know what? Fuck yeah. But KO Dominic Brazil.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
I mean,
who
please.
do we got the punchers on the list from the part 1 and part 2? We have Virgil Ortiz. He also he got 100%. Then we got Bitter BF 100%. They both have like 15 fights. I think Virgil has 14. And this guy has like 97%, 95% KO. So just something to throw under.
Well, you know, he has knockouts, but I'm not impressed by that shit. Unless he knocks out elite boxers. He couldn't knock out Tyson Fury. Oh, he went down. He almost died. He got back up and won the round. So
Yeah, I would say he almost died. yeah, I like how people put up his punching power like as if he's gonna kill somebody. Trust me, guys. The way you kill somebody in the ring is if you hit him over and over the head. A big puncher seldom kills anybody. Come on, let's stop.
Yeah, that's right.
Fanboys, what they do is they watch that knockdown, and then before he gets back up, they stop watching the fight because they don't want to see what happened after, man.
Exactly. To
No,
them,
and the thing with him, excitement value, it's like, don't tell you what puncher. Well, he might hit you hard with that right hand, but like for example, Tyson hit you hard with 2 hands, and he would hit you hard throughout the whole fight. With this guy, what makes his fights semi-exciting is you got that suspense value to where you don't know when it's coming back, but then in the end it finally comes. With Mike Tyson, for example, it was like from beginning to end. You know, he would beat you up like you stole his wallet. So
Right.
with him, you don't. He's being very patient and whatnot. But yeah, it's night and day with him.
All right, listen.
Move
Affirmative
on.
action. Affirmative action, please. All right, let's. Who's next, Bucho?
Alexander Usyk.
Alexander Usyk. Now, he just moved up to heavyweight, so we're not going to be judging his heavyweight accomplishment or lack thereof. Let's remember, guys, this guy had a sensational 2018. And what was wrong exactly with him? That he had to take a hiatus?
I think he tore his bicep.
Tore his bicep.
He broke his back.
Was it spinal or?
No.
All right, so there you have Alexander Usyk, and let's not go too far. I'm gonna start the judgment at July 2018, because otherwise we go way too back at the beginning of. Well, actually, we included Deontay Wilder's win over Ortiz, which was in the beginning of 2018. So I guess we can include Usyk's win over Brady's. So he beat Mary's Brady's in the super. I mean, not the super, but that cruiserweight tournament. I think it was a quarterfinals. And he beat semifinals. And then he beat Murad Gassiev completely and totally outboxed him. And then that same year, he knocked out Tony Bellew, despite some shaky first couple of rounds. And now he came back after an injury, and he took on a late replacement in Chaz Witherspoon and ended up stopping him. And it was what it was. He was a late replacement, but at least he won. That's what counts here. What do you guys think?
He's an A+. Arguably, maybe the best fighter on the card.
People are saying Glenn Rodwell on the roll. Little doubt. 92 AKU says Usyk pass. Jonathan Morrison says on the roll. Yes. You know what? I'm gonna say on the roll because he won the World Boxing Super Series, and that tournament was stacked with very good fighters.
Yeah, undefeated fighters and champions at that.
Yeah, and then we did give Inoue an honor roll because he won the World Boxing Super Series. And I also believe Josh Taylor, we gave him an honor roll because he won the tournament. So it would be only fair to give Usyk an honor roll based on the WBSS.
I think this is one of those cases where it's barely an honor roll because of the fact that most of the whole thing took place in 2018 and not because of the injury. But then again, the injury is not his fault. But I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna agree with you guys. Honor roll. All right, so that's Alexander Usyk. Jesus. So hopefully he continues doing what he does best, which is fighting the best and taking on the best challenges. Watch that video, guys, we did over at BDA Live, where we watched the fight with his fight with Joe Joyce, which was like a semi-pro fight, and he did pretty well in that one. So go check that video out at BDA Live, and also check out the Ruiz Joshua 1 film analysis that we did. The first part is about Ruiz, and it's a pretty good film analysis, including Recognize on commentary, Gonzalo, Bucho, and of course yours truly. So check those out. Links are in the description. Bucho, who's next?
Did you take out the part, BDA, where I just start babbling and speaking nonsense?
Oh yeah, absolutely.
Oh, thank you.
No, I'm kidding. No, I cut out. There were parts where we fell into the trap where we started repeating sometimes what we already said before. So because again, it's gotta be it's a half an hour video, so it could have been longer if I just left everything in there. So, but yeah, I cut out parts from everybody just so that we wouldn't be repeating all the time. And remember, we were talking shit too in between the fights. So we were talking about YouTube stuff and all that. So I cut all that out.
Yeah, and by the way, I think Bucho was saying that he was picking Joshua before the video. I don't know about how he feels about it now.
Yeah, that was a
watching that.
Still picking Joshua.
Oh,
that was an eye opener, wasn't it?
Coming in.
Yeah.
I got him coming in. I don't unless he gets hurt again early, then it's gonna be a completely different fight.
Well, you gotta keep in mind, guys. We haven't even posted yet the video where we show what Joshua did correct in that fight, because he did do some correct things correctly, which he could improve on and capitalize on in the rematch. So wait for that video. It's coming. It's in the final stages of editing, so we're gonna be dropping it soon. So, but in the meanwhile, enjoy the first part. There's a whole lot there to digest, and like Gonzalo said, it's an eye opener to rewatch that fight in slow motion. It really gives you an idea of what each guy did right, what each guy did wrong. See what's going on with that one.
One thing, real fast, is I find it interesting after we watched that. I was thinking, don't trade with the guy, don't fight on the inside, and don't tie him up. But when he got that knockdown with the left hand, this was a Joshua. I'm speaking for Joshua. He was coming off a clinch where he broke. He was coming off a clinch, and he landed a short punch on the inside. So that's just a trip.
It is, man. I mean, it's gonna be. I'm excited for this fight now. I wasn't excited when they announced the rematch, and I was like, all right, well, it's heavyweights. They're not that great anyway. This era of heavyweights, but now I'm starting to get into it. The intrigue is starting to dawn on me. All right, Bucho, who do we have next on the list here on the scorecards? I mean, report cards.
Anthony Joshua.
Hey, speak of the devil, Anthony Joshua. Look at him, looking at the camera like he's a GQ model or something. Anthony Joshua didn't have the greatest of years. I mean, 2018 was pretty good. He beat Povetkin. He beat Parker. Those two guys, right? That was 2018. Now, against Joseph Parker, he didn't look all that hot, but he did beat a top heavyweight. And he knocked out Povetkin, something Vladimir Klitschko couldn't do. Then he ran into Andy Ruiz. And boy, did that set his career back a ton. Guys, he's going to rematch Ruiz in about a week and a half. What do you guys think?
Gets a pass. My opinion. Gets a pass because he's got the best resume. And he was like one of the highest touted fighters based on skill and just on upside, to where that was like a massive upset that Ruiz had. So when you speak upset, then you're going into the rematch for still a 50-50. Maybe Joshua's still a slight favorite. Yeah, his stock did plummet, but since it was so high on the totem pole, even though it dropped, it's like at a pass.
Slight pass?
Solid pass.
Solid pass. Whoa, all right. Bucho, what do you think? Oh, sorry, Gonzalo. Sorry, I thought you were done.
Yeah, can't throw a fighter under the bus for losing one time against somebody. He did drag his ass up off the canvas 4 times. So I don't think he quit. He just ran out of ideas, but nonetheless, he can prove himself otherwise in the rematch.
Yeah, and the rematch is close by. So we can count it. I mean, in the next cycle. But Bucho, what do you think?
Yeah, pass. Everything was fine until he lost against Andy Ruiz, and who knows, maybe he might beat him in December in 2 weeks. So it has to be a pass, I think. I mean, we can't be this. Andy Ruiz isn't a bad boxer either, right? So it's a pass.
All right, listen. I gotta drop for 2 minutes. We got a phone call. Take this phone call, and you tell me what's up. I'll be right back. Right? We're almost done here, fellas. By the way, I think we are done. Anyway, hold on a second.
There's
Be
one
right
more
back.
boxer in the list.
Yeah, okay. Let's take a phone call. Guys, take the phone call. It's 585. Take it away, fellas.
So I think it's Vinny again. Vinny, what's up?
Yes, Mr. Bucho. Yes. I see you guys' report card for Mr. Wilder. I guess you can give him that grade. I give him a pass due to his one-punch knockout power. But I do want to see him unify the division in 2020.
Yeah, well, we want to see that shit.
Mr.
We've been waiting for this for I don't know how many years, man.
Yes, part of it, it's the Wilder opponents like Mr. Povetkin. He tested dirty. Ortiz tested dirty before as well, so it kind of like stalled things. But hopefully 2020, Wilder can be undisputed.
I don't know. AJ fought Povetkin. AJ fought Parker. AJ fought Dylan White. I mean, I don't understand what these excuses. They're not satisfying here. By the way, was Povetkin? He didn't really test positive. They went to court and they won.
Correct, but they canceled the fight even before they went to court, so you're all of it pretty much. But it's not Wilder's fault. Some people say, it's Wilder's fault, but it's the guys he's fighting. They're cheaters. They want to have an advantage against Mr. Wilder. And it's hurting boxing, guys. Let's be honest here.
Well, right. Gonzalo gave him a pass. So, Gonzalo, you want to say anything? You want to say something to Vinny Mac
about Wilder?
Well, yeah. I mean, he's saying the same. Well, he wants us to give him a pass. If he did.
Yeah, give him. I say give him a pass, but don't get carried away. As a fan, you just want to keep it to where you're being what's the word? What's the word I'm looking for, man? This is kind of controversial. You don't want to blow it out of proportion. It is what it is, man.
Yeah, don't be a provocateur. But anyway, Vinny, we got other phone calls. We got to move on. Thank you for calling back in, and we'll catch you on the next one, all right?
Yes, no problem. Have a good one, Mr. Bucho and Mr. BDA. Guys, have a great night.
All right, that was Vinny. All right, let's go to 33. Hold on a second. 337. You're on the air. 337. You're on the air.
It's Dead Game Boxing. What's up, family?
Hey, Dead Game. Good to have you on board, man.
Man, I'm gonna be real with you guys. I just got onto the show, man. I just wanted to call in. What's the subject, man? I don't even know, bro.
We're talking about. We're talking about report cards. We're giving boxers report cards. This is the second part of that series. We're on the heavyweights now, so we're counting performances, wins, how they won, the promotional aspect, how much. What am I saying here? How much support do they have? How much the fan base, all that type of stuff, and we're giving them ratings: fail, pass, or honor roll. And we're talking right now about Anthony Joshua. Do we give him a pass? Do we give him a fail? Obviously not an honor roll because he lost. So what do you think?
Well, I'm gonna say because of Joshua's star power, I'm gonna give him a pass.
Huh.
I think the rematch. And I say that because the rematch might be because he lost. I think this fight is bigger than the first fight. So I mean, it's just marketing. I mean, it's good marketing for him to lose because, I mean, now he's getting that, what, 80 mil, 85 mil? I'm hearing something like that.
Whoa.
I give AJ for losing, I give him a pass, man. You got to look at also, you have to look at also the way he lost. He lost to a guy that he had no clue of who this guy was. Andy Ruiz is a great fighter. Looks can be deceiving, as we all know. And he stepped into the lion's den with a monster. Andy Ruiz is a monster. So, you know, I would like to see a good fight. I want to see Andy win again because I think that would be closer to undisputed. But AJ gets a pass for losing, to me, personally.
You know, I think you're one of the first people that are considering that criteria of star power and all that, because I did include that in the criteria, but most people are ignoring it. But you're the first one to pull it out. So I kind of agree with you, too. We should add that into consideration, the fact that he's got so much support from the UK. And no matter what happens with him, if he just gets one more win here on the comeback trail, he stays back on being a star. So it's kind of hard to give him a fail, especially just for one loss.
Man, AJ, even if AJ lose to Andy again, he's still a star. I mean, see, we got to get out of this loss. Everybody, man, somebody. To me, a true champion is going to fight everyone, no matter how tough the fight is. And if you're doing that, you're going to catch a loss every once in a while, you know? A lot of people just want an undefeated champion, but, I mean, in due time, bro, I think a good champion want to fight the best competition, and sooner or later you're going to get caught in the heavyweight division. So, you know.
I agree, man.
That's the way I feel. Yeah, you know. I just don't like the fact that if AJ wins, he's going to run from Bomb Squad. Like, I don't see that fight happening. And I'm hoping Andy wins just to, you know, we'll see what happens. I'm hoping Andy will fight him. I would prefer to see a Wilder AJ fight. But I don't think AJ really wants to fight Wilder. I think, you know, that's just my opinion. I could be totally wrong, you know.
Well, that remains to be seen. It remains to be seen, and we will be seeing what happens in the rematch, which will be taking place not this Saturday, but the next between Joshua and Ruiz. Should be pretty fun to watch. So listen.
It's going to be an event. It's going to be an event.
90 seconds.
An event is different from a boxing match. This thing is going to be an event. So it's going to have the eyes of the world watching him. I mean, I just think Andy's a monster, dude.
Well, listen, catch
Andy's
that.
a monster. AJ's a monster. The top guys are all monsters, bro.
Yeah, no, you're right.
Fury, he's a monster, you know. When you
60
have a
seconds.
How tall is Fury? 6'7", 6'8", 6'9"?
They say 6'9", but I contend. They say he's 6'7". I mean 6'9", but I contend he's about 6'7.5" or 6'8". I don't think he's 6'9".
No, he's taller. No, Wilder is 6'7", and he's taller than Wilder.
Oh, I don't know about that. So, listen, we got to move on. We got another phone call, and we got to end the show soon. But thank you for calling.
Y'all have a good one, brother. Thanks for the pickup. Appreciate you.
All right, appreciate your call there, Game. Thank you. All right, we're almost done here with the list. We do got to finish it, and we got another phone call. 509. You're on the air. 509.
What's up, guys? This is Coup92.
What Coup?
Yeah, just seeing your guys' show. Yeah.
10 seconds.
You guys talking about who gets a pass if AJ gets a pass?
Yeah, we're talking about whether he gets a pass, a fail, or an honor roll. Now, we all agree he doesn't get an honor roll, but what do you say, pass or fail?
I think a pass because because he took the rematch. You know, he could have just taken some easy fights and or at least a tune-up fight before the rematch. But he won his belts back, and he's getting paid, like you say, he's getting paid that 70 million, 80 million plus. So that's definitely a pass. I think Wilder definitely gets a pass too. That knockout power is crazy. I know a lot of people were hating on his resume, but I mean, I think his resume is pretty good. Fighting Ortiz and I mean, top 10ish guys, they're like lingering in the top 10, and he's knocking them out. And people are saying, "Oh, well, he's KOing bums," but I mean, Fury, Ortiz, these guys, they're not KOing everyone. So it's pretty hard to get a KO. Triple G, Canelo. Well, actually, Triple G was KO. He was KOing everybody too. But it's pretty hard to get KOs. And the fact that Wilder gets one 99.9% of the time, it's pretty amazing. Kovalev, he's a hard hitter. He doesn't get all KOs. He gets knocked out sometimes too. But I think the winner of Wilder Fury is definitely gonna show who's the best heavyweight. Because and it's coming in February. I'm excited for that because I've seen Fury beat Wilder. We all seen Fury beat Wilder. Can he do it again? That's going to be exciting to watch.
Absolutely, man.
Who had a fell? Yeah, who had a fell? I want to say some people who definitely had a fell. I want to see what you guys think. But I think Fury had a fell this year because he fought Tom Schwartz and he got pretty beat up by that German or that other European guy. But he has a chance to redeem all that February. Leo Santa Cruz, Gary Russell, Fells, and Mikey Garcia for not doing jack basically this year and not doing jack in the fight. Just basically he jacked basically. That's all he did. He's a jacker, like Fury says. He's a total jacker.
Yeah, he's a jacker. We gave Mikey Garcia a pretty hard fail on the first episode we did on this.
Definitely. So. I gotta hear that. Yeah. Come on, like what's he doing? He's doing the same stupid ass shit that he's doing. He's wasting time, wasting his. He had a chance to like become like superstar. Like he was already like in that top 10. He was already in that top 10 pound for pound. But he keeps doing like his management. He's smart in the ring, but outside the ring, he's making dumbass decisions like wasting 2 years. He missed that fight in that Cotto fight. He could have fought Cotto. He could have fought Lomachenko. Like he's I don't know what the hell he's doing.
He's in it for the money. He's got one foot out.
Opportunities.
He's got one foot out the door because he wants to become a cop and pull people over and give them breathalyzers. That's what he wants to do, and do that while having some money in the bank. Right now, he knows he's only got a limited time window to make money. He's gonna make as much money as he can by doing smart decisions, smart matchmaking. And then he's going to become a cop and, I don't know, probably steal drugs from the locker or something, to sell that back on the street. And that's what he's going to do.
Yeah.
He's probably going to, boxing is never...
I know, man.
He was never into boxing that much. Even when he was a young kid, all his family members were boxing and he would sit and play a Game Boy while his brothers were training. And then he got into it. But it's always sort of been something that he's extremely good at it, but you saw against Errol Spence when it was time to really step up and go to war, even though he was losing. Yeah, he decided not to push the issue too much.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly, man. I was a big, huge Mikey Garcia fan. I was ready to give him, ball back of the year. But I mean, who do you got to give biggest balls of the year? Is it Big Red? Big Red gonna get that award?
Who? Big
Red, Canelo.
Oh, Big Red? Yeah, I mean, you got to give it to Canelo. I know people are going to say that the fight was fixed and all that, and it's true. At least with the way.
That's stupid, yeah.
At least
your time on that. That's retarded.
Yeah, but with the rehydration clause, there is a point there, and I mean but he did move up, man. He stepped in the ring ender with the guy. You can't. You have to prove me. You have to show me great evidence that Kovalev was drugged or that he was.
Kovalev, when he was fighting. Like when he was defending his IBF belt, he had to do the 10-pound day of rehydration clause too. Like it was like I know he doesn't have it now and it's not for it, But it was like 3 years ago. He was doing the same thing for the 10 pounds for the IBF belt.
Yeah, I suppose. So I mean, listen, it's Big Red definitely gets a big up. Bivol, well, not Bivol, Usyk.
He's got it.
Oh, Josh Taylor, man, by getting in that tournament, and Inoue too. But anybody that gets into that tournament, they get the Big Ball Award.
Yes, definitely, Josh Taylor. Yeah, that was I picked against him, and he because UK fighters usually don't show up, but he's definitely the real deal. Josh Taylor, shout out to Josh Taylor. And Donio Daenerys, you gotta give him. He definitely get a pass. He's like, people thought I did too. Thought he was gonna get sent to hell that fight, and he had another thing. Probably his greatest achievement was this fight and the loss. Fighting Donaire. I mean, fighting Inoue.
Yeah, I'd still say his biggest achievement were either the win over Montiel or the win over Darchinian in the first fight. But this one, it was definitely up there, even though he lost. I mean, he conducted himself with...
Yeah.
He performed very well against a younger opponent whom, like you said, many people thought he was going to get run over, and nope, he stood up to the guy. Listen, Aku, we're going to move on because we got to end this, and we got one fighter left on the report card. But thank you for calling in, man. All right?
Yeah. Thank you.
Right.
Great show, guys. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for the call. All right. That was a little sprinkling there about... Yeah, it's true. I mean, this was a good year, man. Once you look back at all the fighters and the risks that they took, it's been a good 2 years. I'll even throw in the 2018 in there. It's been a good 2 years. A respectable year. Bucho, last fighter. What do we got?
Andy Ruiz.
Andy Ruiz, the man of the hour. Actually, he's not the man of the hour. He's not exactly the man of the hour because, I mean, well, he might be if he wins next week. But this is a guy that, I'll be honest here, as always, I wasn't all that high on him. I remember I saw him fight on one undercard. I think it was a Pacquiao undercard. I forget which undercard it was on. It was a pay-per-view undercard, not that... Well, actually, yeah, it was quite a bit ago now. And I wasn't impressed with the guy. I mean, anytime you see somebody that's fat, the first thing you think is, all right, he's not disciplined. And he went into a decision in that fight. So I remember when I saw him fight, I said, it's a poor man's Chris Arreola. Because at that time, Chris Arreola wasn't that bad. But credit to Ortiz, man. He didn't care what people like... I mean, to Ruiz, he doesn't care what people like me say. And he kept on winning, and he kept on winning. He went over to New Zealand against Joseph Parker and lost the decision there. But ever since then, he took a bit of hiatus. After that loss, came back against Devin Vargas, knocked him out. Against Kevin Johnson, who's always a difficult veteran to knock out, but he beat him. And then he took out Dimitrenko. And despite his weak resume at the time, he went in there against Anthony Joshua and knocked him out. Guys, what do you think? Pass, fail, or honor roll?
It gets honor roll. And I'm just going to say why. On my behalf, I think give him honor roll because he got good boxing skills too. Like, even if you believe he was like a one-hit wonder type of guy, when you think about music, this song comes out and it's a one-hit wonder, it gets put up on the top of the charts.
Right.
Because it's a hit. It's a success. And he was the talk of the town. But like I said, he's got good boxing skills to where he beat Joshua. It was a great upset. So his stock rises exponentially. And he achieved to where he gained 3 titles with one fight. Then he captured the rematch as a consequence of that. He also gets a good payday, and it caters to the Mexican fan base. And he became the first fighter of Mexican descent, to do that.
Right.
So he exponentially rose with that victory, like a one-hit wonder. But nonetheless, he got the boxing skills to which people were unfamiliar with. And so that's why his stock rises. But he can also be the guy that drops off all of a sudden with this rematch. So just gotta throw that in there as well.
Bucho, what do you think? You agree with Gonzalo? Yeah, by the way, people in the chat room are saying, Luis is on the payroll. He's on the fat roll. Overachiever roll. I mean, come on, man. Bucho, what do you think?
Man. Gonzalo makes a good point about the billboards. What's it called? The songs that make
one hit wonders.
Yeah, but still, it's only one win, man. I mean, were you impressed with Ruiz before that? In the Joseph Parker fight was garbage, but that was a long time ago, though, right?
Right.
Fuck, I don't know, man.
The
He
Dimitrenko
was training
fight.
himself. With Abel Sanchez was too busy, training Gennady Golovkin, and he was also that was a close fight, man. Parker's a good fighter.
But the thing is, Joshua, he was expecting he was gonna fight Baby Miller, right? And they keep changing opponents, and then last minute Ruiz shows up. I don't want to make excuses for Joshua, but the circumstances were there for a potential upset, right? So you know what? If we would have, I'd like to wait and see the rematch, and then make.
And by the way, Boxing Virus in the chat says Beterbiev got the honor roll for one great win. Yeah, but let's not forget it was sprinkled in with 2 other good wins.
That's a good point.
Ruiz,
yeah,
this was the biggest win of the year, and he gained three titles.
Yeah,
he became
he
became unified. This was the biggest upset of the year. He became the first Mexican American heavyweight champion, which that might not count for a lot of people, but then the market on the upside, you have to where they're gonna buy this fight, and it's gonna be a big event. It's gonna be an even bigger event than the first one.
Yeah, that's true.
So the upside is there.
That's true. Yeah, it's true. I mean, we gotta consider.
And if people say I'm biased with this one, they can go ahead and say I will take the hit on this one. I am biased.
No,
the guy got the skills, and I said it all along.
I want you. I
said it all along. The guy has skills.
I want to hear you say. I want to hear you tell these people to go fuck themselves. Verbatim.
Well, basically, I'm from a border town, kind of similar background. But then I had the feeling that he was a great fighter. I've been following him since early on in his career, but he just basically proved that. And I'm not gonna rate him above what he's worth if he loses. But even people now saying that if he loses to Joshua, he's still gonna go ahead and do great things. So even people realize that if he wins or loses, he's a good fighter. He's a quality fighter.
Well, listen, I kept saying from the beginning that we do have to take into consideration the showbiz aspect of this and whether this comes into consideration. And some of these guys, if you're a superstar and if you're being handled properly and you got that win and you become a bit of a star, that should play into consideration on this report card. And I haven't had a chance to pull that out yet. Dead Game beat me to it, but I'm going to go ahead and pull it out too as well in this one. I think Ruiz, because of like what Gonzalo said, that star power. I mean, he beat a bunch of... He beat Joshua in a shootout in front of a bunch of celebrities. He took down the Giant. I mean, it was a perfect Cinderella story. And by the way, am I the only one who wishes that this fight was taking place in New York again?
Because I really, it's okay wherever it happens. Why would that be?
I just like the ambience. Madison Square Garden.
But actually, it's better because then there's some excuses.
That's true.
About New York being. I mean, no. Holy shit! I never thought.
Yeah. I'm kind of glad it didn't happen in Los Angeles, even Vegas, to where it's unbiased. That's the East Coast. Injuries had nothing to do with there because mostly over there they're like recognized Puerto Ricans.
Yeah, and St. Britt says it won't matter BDA when you see it on TV. It's true. When I see it on TV, I don't give a fuck. I'll be watching the fight. Good point. All right, so we're gonna give Ruiz an honor roll, and hopefully he stays away.
We'll throw in some egg rolls. Egg rolls.
Yeah, some Kung Pao.
Taco rolls. Tacos.
And some Kung Pao Coochie as well. Hey, by the way, you guys.
Yeah, because he's doing that pussy sign with the hand picture, right?
Yeah, exactly. He's gonna. And by the way,
typical Mexican dude. No.
Speaking of one-hit wonders,
give me your chon no.
Give me some chon. Speaking of one-hit wonders, anybody remember this little one-hit wonders? Because there's some good ones, man. But
sugar, baby, come my lady, you're my pretty baby, I'll make your legs shake, you make me go crazy.
That motherfucking song, I just remembered it the other day. It has 101 million views on YouTube, man. That's unbelievable.
What's the guy's name? That guy, Mr. BDA.
The group was called Crazy Town. And I'm pretty sure they're not making any money off of all the views they're getting on YouTube. Poor guys. They had a one-hit wonder way back in the late 90s, or I think it was 2000, and now they're a hit on YouTube again. But I don't know if they're making money off of that. All right. Well, by the way, do we have McGregor back? McGregor, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Why'd you come back if you're sick, man? What are you doing?
Because I just passed a kidney stone and I'm good.
Oh.
Jesus.
Oh.
Yeah, man. It reminds me of that first time I ever licked ass. It was like oddly satisfying, but in the most humiliating way.
Well, how you doing now, though? You feeling better?
Yeah, I feel better now. I didn't feel better after licking ass for the first time.
No, I got you, man. I got you. No, yeah, man. That. Okay, what? Anyway, man. Yeah, those.
Professional tip to anybody who ever wants to eat ass: don't do it on taco night.
Oh, come on. All right. You know what? What? Is this because of Andy Ruiz? Listen, you came in just in the second we were about to go, but we gave. I think we gave the best grades that we saw fit. I know some people, not everybody agrees in the chat room, but listen, we do what we can here. All right, it's not a perfect system. What do you want from me? That the educational system is not the best. All right, this ain't Sweden. We're not teaching kids that they can be girls or boys depending on
Can I say one thing?
one thing. Yes.
Yeah. When we were doing like all of these grades and everything, we were 50-50 on Crawford, pretty much. So we decided to fail him. I'd like to change it to a pass because I thought we were just basing it off the last year and not like long periods of time, like the last 18 months or 20
years,
months.
yeah.
So
Too
I'd
late,
like
man.
to change mine to a pass, and he should be labeled a pass.
Well, I can appreciate that you're willing to change your mind, but it's over, man. The decision has been passed. This ain't the Supreme Court. We can't overturn it.
Bro, I've got a stone covered in piss with your name on it if you don't overturn it.
No.
That type of statement is not necessary. I'll just say that. Oh. Virtuoso just donated via the super chat. Shout out to Virtuoso who says, Gonzalo, there are plenty of... Okay. I can't read that. Unrival, can you read it for me, man?
Oh, yeah.
Please.
Let me see. What does it say? Gonzalo, there are plenty of beaners in New York.
Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah, you wait a minute. You can say beaners, BDA. If the African Americans say the N word, then you can say the B word.
Oh yeah, you're right. You're right. And by the way, I
can't actually say it. This was the wrong way around. I'm racist. Now.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it. Listen, here at the BD, if it were up to me, we would be allowed to say whatever we want. I already told the black people. I've been telling them for years. If you want to get rid of the N word, let everyone use it, and so it's going to lose its power. But now they're upset. They want to have the little crutch. Oh, he called me the N word. Grew up set of balls. By the way, I also forgot Chris K donated a while back, and he said, "You're Asian," because we're talking about Beevil, and he said, "Eurasian." So Chris K said, "Eurasian," and he says, "Yes, but undercover." Shout out to Chris K, aka Undercover Asian. By the way, McGregor, what happened last night? Because I had to go to sleep at the last minute, but did the Boogie Woogie end up showing up? Or?
No. He ducked me.
All right, well, did you really expect the guy to show up? I mean, we don't even know who the hell he is.
I would have enjoyed it. I mean, yeah. But no, I didn't really. I was bored and I couldn't sleep, so fuck it.
I gotcha. Yeah, you sound a little tired. I don't know what the hell you're doing. Don't start streams if you're tired. That's my advice. You gotta keep it consistent. You gotta keep the quality.
That's when streams become iconic.
Possibly.
Here, address private because he might be sending you something like the anthrax.
We're still gonna send you anthrax. Stop it, Gonzalo.
What is it? 2003 or something?
Something like that. Not like
Yeah.
not the same, but you know.
Don't scare.
You never
him
know.
with
All of
that
a
shit.
sudden he gets sick. The guy's not answering. He might have got something through the mail. You know, FedEx. He opened. He doesn't realize it.
Nah, that shit doesn't happen. Anyway, listen, fellas. Thank you for joining us for this last leg of the report cards. I thought it went well, and we'll be back. We'll do another special show. Butcher, should we announce what we're doing next, or?
Yes, let's do it.
All right, so we have the phone calls, and we obviously when we had the hangouts, we would give out the link, but now the problem is we can't have too many panelists in here because otherwise it gets too crowded. And we got the Discord now. That's where we invite people. Again, we don't give too many invites. So that's where we get the phone lines open so everybody can call in. But then after we had that little thing there with official boxing scorecard with the two perverted Europeans who showed up revealing everything, I decided, Bucho and myself decided, you know what? Every once in a while, we got to cycle some of these psychos to really get the rate down of psychos. So we decided to do a little purge. We are going to start the first ever BDA purge. What we are going to do, we are going to start a StreamYard stream. That's right, StreamYard, which we did not use, but we're going to be using it for one episode. We're going to put the link on YouTube or give it around every once in a while, and we'll see who shows up. We do have the ability to quarantine people, so don't freak out if something gets too out of hand. But yeah, it's the purge. We got to let people purge.
Kinky.
So we're going to let the portal open. See who shows up. Anybody can get on the StreamYard, and I mean anybody. All right. So that's what we're going to be doing, the purge, which is not going to come every day.
That's right.
So watch out for that one. All right. John Gonzalez says, "I'll be the executioner." Come on, I'll give you John. It would be fun if that was from anybody else, but from you, Buddy Ace says StreamYard. What's that? Where are you gonna find out? If you don't know what StreamYard is, and you're obviously not watching on Rivals stream, you're not watching Johnny Boy's stream. Come on, what's the matter with you? All right, so
who's not watching my stream? You should be watching my stream. It's really bad.
Buddy Aces, you got to learn, buddy. You got to learn.
Oh no, Buddy Aces is sub to me. He's watching my streams all the time.
Okay, then he probably just doesn't see. I mean, he doesn't know what StreamYard is. Box88 says, "You're asking for trouble, BDA." That's exactly what we're asking for. Trouble. Love it. All right, listen. That's about it for now. What's that?
We want trouble.
Wait, that's exactly, yeah. Trouble's entertaining every once in a while.
I think Johnny mentioned also that they're gonna start monetizing StreamYard.
Oh, really? Oh, that's interesting.
Oh no, what Johnny's saying is you're gonna actually have to start paying for StreamYard when you go over. It's like phone data, right? So they're now giving you a certain amount of time that you can be on for, and then afterwards you have to pay for it. So I'm good with that because I'm buying it. So because I actually enjoy it until I get a new laptop, and then I'm just gonna cancel my subscription, and then I'm just gonna like do what you guys do.
Are they gonna do that charging because so many people dropped from the Hangout when it ended, or did they already have this planned?
StreamYard are gonna do the charging because essentially they can't support their servers.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying, because so many people switched from Hangouts, right?
Yeah, a lot of people did, and the amount of hour usage that's probably gone through is probably running them dry, so they need to up their costs.
Yeah, they're cooming. They're cooming too hard. They need to be refilled. All right. Guys, thanks a lot for joining us. Everybody, I want to thank Unrival who got here. Hope he's feeling better now that he passed that stone. Gonzalo, recognized was here a little while ago earlier. I think his mother-in-law got to him. I think she heard the jokes he was making. Now she's beating him over the head with a rolling pin, like in the cartoons. And Bucho, of course, my co-host. So, guys, thank you for joining us. And everybody also that was in the chat room. But I also want to thank, of course, first... Oh, jeez. Hold on a second. That's a little outro music there. I want to thank everybody that donated via the Super Chat. Michael Stott, Mr. Pigeon, Mike Tyson, Chris K, Virtuoso. Everybody who called in as well. And let's not forget, of course, the people in the chat room. Thank you guys for joining us, the BDA family. Toniato James, Hand History Vault, 92 AQ, Aku, yeah. Buddy Aces, Jonathan Morrison, G Boogie, Sina Masia, Duck, Jonathan Morrison, Buddy Aces, Official Scorecard Boxing, The Punisher, Glenn Rodwell, Ness Mendoza, shout out to Ness, Boxing Virus, Triple JJJ, Multi Apple, Saint Brit, Duck. Who else? If I forgot anybody, guys, GB Boxing. Guys, thanks a lot for joining. Oh, Jason Bourne. Can't forget Jason Bourne. Travis the Chimp. Rick Rocca. Celtic 67. Or is that Celtic 67? I don't know. Pink Panther. B-Space. Rick Rocca, I mentioned. Mr. Pageant Dice Boxing, yes. Wags was in there as well. John Gonzalez, can't forget John, otherwise he makes people forget about you by burying you 6 feet under. Cinemacia. Guys, thanks a lot for joining us. If I forgot anybody, that's because I'm a little bit tired right now. Undertrained, underperforming, whatever. Thank you for joining us. We'll catch you on the next one, folks. Take it easy.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I'm sorry, I don't mean to offend you.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I kiss you on the mouth.
No, I'm not cool with that. I'm sorry.
One more time.
I'm disappointed in every one of you.
I mean, I'm dealing with degenerate animals.
I'm disappointed in everyone. Totally disappointed in everyone.
All right, come on.
Honestly, I can't do it, man.
I'm disappointed in everyone.
Let me tell you why.
It's gonna be alright, Nicky. Go ahead, shoot.
He just killed a fucking man.
What are you going to do about it?
You're happy because you got nothing. You don't got a thing. You're happy because you got nothing. Lobito! Got nothing.
I want to get out of this rat hole. I want to get online. I need
BDA Boxing.